behind on a couple things here this morning. Video stream up and rolling right now, so that YouTube chat is going to be available here momentarily. But a very happy Thursday to all of you. What do we have on our game plan for us this morning? Nice win last night for the Milwaukee Bucks. I know the Cavs were a bit short-handed in that game, but nonetheless, Bucks picking up a 118-116 victory against the Cavs, thanks to Kevin Porter Jr.'s go-ahead shot, game-winning shots at the end of the game there. And Bucks defense able to hold off the Cavs from trying to tie it up or win it. But big win for the Bucks to improve to 26-31 and move just a little bit closer to the top 10 in the Eastern Conference standings into that play-in round. But you want to talk about maybe some complimentary basketball all around. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players, 7 of the 9 players who played for the Bucks last night scoring in double figures. Kevin Porter Jr. leading the way with 20. You had Ryan Rollins with 18. Kuzma contributed 17. A.J. Green, Miles Turner, each with 15 points. Portis off the bench with 10. Jericho Sims with a double-double, just a double-double machine, 11 points and 11 rebounds for him. So Bucks with back-to-back nice wins going up against the Miami Heat the other night, and then last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers. We'll have another tough one, though, coming up tomorrow when they welcome the New York Knicks to Milwaukee. But Bucks 8-2 in their last 10 games. So playing some solid basketball as we start to wrap up the regular season here. So, but meanwhile, Wisconsin Badger men's basketball team was not good last night. Cold shooting for the Badgers. If you stayed up late for that game, sorry about that, but Badgers just shooting 33% from the field overall. Putrid number, 31% from 3, 14 of 45, shooting 45 three-pointers in that game last night and only making 14 of them. A really bad offensive night for the Badger basketball team, and not a good loss either against Oregon. So, I mean, even Wisconsin, that 31% from 3, they were just 3 of 11 from shooting layups. That's worse, 27.3% for shooting layups, for crying out loud. So Badgers falling to 19-9 with just 3 games left to go in this regular season. So good night for the Bucks. Not a good night for Badger basketball last night. We'll talk some hoops throughout this morning. If you like offense in baseball, I know it was spring training, but yesterday the Brewers playing a fun game against the Giants with a lot of runs scored. Brewers with a little walk-off fashion, 13-12 victory against the Giants. Giants, it was an eventful 4th inning, too, because Giants took the lead, putting up 5 runs in the top of the 4th, but the Brewers responded by putting 7 up there, including grand slam from Bryce Turang. Bryce Turang hit 2 home runs yesterday. Turang displaying the power. And in one of his, it was a grand slam, a massive 425-foot shot. And then a wild 9th inning where the Giants put up 4 to take the lead, and then the Brewers putting up 3 with a walk-off victory. So, but we'll talk some Brewers. Brewers are going to be back at it today. Won't be on the radio, so that game will not be on the radio for today, but they'll be back at it as their spring training season continues to roll along. They'll be going up against the Texas Rangers. So we'll talk some Brewers and maybe talk a little Bryce Turang and that power that he has displayed. So what else do we got on the docket here? It is a Takeover Thursday, so if you have any topics, suggestions, what we should be chatting about and such, now's your chance, all right? Let us know. Hit us up, 715-830-1912, or you can join in on the YouTube chat. It is also a Enough is Enough Thursday. So if there is a sports topic, a sports opinion or story, however you want to phrase it, where you're like, dude, enough's enough with what people are saying about this, that, or the other thing, let us know. Get it off your chest. We'll also chat with Jake Bolks coming up at 8:30 for our Tailgate Outdoors presented by Tilden Gun with our DNR chat. So we'll chat with Jake coming up at 8:30. If you have any questions for Jake, please text those on over to us on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line at 715-830-1912. We're also going to do a little game time today. We're going to play a little match game, and we're going to do a little quarterback match game. So with NFL free agency, the new year's starting up here fairly quick, and a lot of rumors and rumblings and predictions of where some quarterbacks are going to go and such. Obviously, Malik Willis being a big one out there, but what about Kirk Cousins and et cetera, et cetera? So we're going to have a little fun and play a little match game. Obviously, we know a lot of the teams that are already going to have, we know they're starting quarterbacks, but there's some intriguing teams out there that may have a brand new starting quarterback this year. So we'll play a little match game and make some predictions here and make some picks on who we think is going to be the starting quarterback for some teams who may be looking for that new starting quarterback. If you want to play along, feel free. Go right ahead. All right. Obviously, not, you can pick whatever teams you'd like, but we're kind of looking at the teams that we know for sure are probably going to have new starting quarterbacks. You could throw Minnesota in there too if you think they're going to maybe bring in a veteran to compete with McCarthy, but kind of mostly looking at the Cardinals, Vikings, Raiders, Steelers, Browns, Colts, Dolphins, Jets, and we'll even throw the Chiefs in there. Let's assume for this little game that Patrick Mahomes is going to miss the starts of the regular season because of his ACL. I know everything's kind of trending in a good direction, but just for funsies here, let's throw the Chiefs in here, and let's say that Mahomes misses a portion of the season. Who do you think is going to start the beginning of the year for the Vikings? So, or for the Chiefs, excuse me. So again, teams that we're kind of looking at: Cardinals, Vikings, Chiefs, Raiders, Steelers, Browns, Colts, Dolphins, Jets. That's 9 teams. Let's play a little quarterback match game with those. So we'll get to it is Thursday, which means it's intern Carter Day as well. So we'll get to him here in just a little bit. But that's your game plan here for us this morning. Let's jump right into it, shall we? We'll take our first break, and then the leadoff's coming up here. We'll talk some hoops. Good night for the Bucks. Awful night for the Badgers last night. We'll hit that up. We'll talk some Brewers baseball with the power from Bryce Turang yesterday in that spring training game. And then, of course, we'll throw in some football chat here with on-field workouts officially beginning today. So if you're all about the combine and such, there you go. The Underwear Olympics will officially kick off today here too. So we'll get to our game time game coming up a little bit later on. Give you some time to submit your answers and such. So let's get things going here. We'll take our first break, and then we'll get the leadoff going here on this Thursday morning. Stick around. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Pain doesn't have to slow you down. At Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, their experienced team is focused on getting you back to doing what you love, whether that's competing on the field, staying active, or simply moving without discomfort. From joint pain and sports injuries to advanced surgical and non-surgical treatments, they provide personalized care designed around you. Local experts, advanced techniques, real results. If pain is holding you back, take the next step towards recovery. That's Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, helping you move better every day. So, all right, it is a Takeover Thursday. Send us your topics. What's a topic that you've maybe been thinking about that you think you want to get the rest of the Armchair MVP listeners out there with their input and such? Let us know. Hit us up with that text and that Shoe Doctors bullpen line. We'll say good morning to intern Carter. Good morning, intern. How are you?
Good morning. Good. I'm pretty good.
Yeah. Good week so far?
So far.
Yeah.
Badgers loss was tough.
Yeah. That was I'm irritated now with that loss. I guess it's typical Badgers. You know, they can beat anybody. They can also lose to anybody. They are a team that lives and dies by the three-pointer, and three-pointer was obviously awful, but layups were even apparently more awful for the Badgers last night. That's a frustrating game for the Badgers.
Well, especially for us because it's like they're playing Oregon.
Yeah.
Like, you want a good seed in the Big Ten tournament so you don't have to win 4 games to win it all, and now you're going to have to win more because you lost to a 10-17 team.
I'm going to be curious to see, I think his updated one comes out tomorrow, Joe Lenardi's updated bracketology, how a game like last night is going to affect them in the seedings, because it seems like the average between 6 and 7 is just going to drop them down now to like an 8 or something like that. And just the ebbs and flows of this Badger basketball season has just been kind of nuts. I mean, you have wins against Michigan and Illinois on the road. You beat Michigan State on your court, especially that same week, Illinois and Michigan State. Then you have losses like Oregon and even like close games against the Gophers and such. It's such a, I guess it's kind of a typical Badger basketball year in a sense, but it's frustrating in it too, because you've got a guy like Nick Boyd who has just been having a fantastic season for this Badger team. You know, I don't know if it'll be the last year for John Blackwell or such, if he's going to, he tried the NBA process last year and that. But, I mean, you have a really good backcourt between those two guys, and I just really hope it's not a kind of a waste of a season and another early exit when it comes to the tournament.
It's kind of weird because it's like they only get up for like ranked matchups. Because
playing down to competition, playing up sort of thing.
I mean, Iowa was good, so they beat Iowa their last game. I believe that was Sunday. But you lose to Ohio State. They weren't ranked. But you beat Illinois. You beat Michigan State. You lost to Indiana. It's like, I don't really understand this team.
Yeah. Nick Boyd, his 11 points last night, that's his fewest since he scored 11 against Penn State, but he only played 21 minutes in that game, and it was a win. And the Gophers, back on the 13th, he played and only scored 11 points in that game too. So Blackwell he did his part last night, scoring over 20 points, but it's just one of those irritating, frustrating games for Badger basketball last night. Then, Nolan Winter only 7. Not really a lot of other production. Carrington came off the bench and had 8, but Austin Rapp had 8 off the bench too. But other than that, I don't know how else to describe it other than just kind of really, really, really frustrating. And I know Oregon shot 47% from 3 and 52%, but you're talking about a team that came in just winning 10 games and was 3 and 13 in the Big Ten.
It's interesting to watch their offense without Nick Boyd kind of run, because John Blackwell's not a point guard. And you can tell because when Nick Boyd's not on the floor, they don't have any rhythm. Their flow is all of a sudden just stopped, and it's just John Blackwell either shooting a 3 or driving. And so I think Nick Boyd does so much more than score for this team. And it's hard for me with John Blackwell because, he went to the NBA Combine obviously came back to Wisconsin, but this year in my head it was like, okay, well now he's gonna have a big year, right? Because he wants to go to the NBA, and he really hasn't had the breakout year that I thought he was gonna have, and that's just like I thought he was gonna be a monster and come for the NBA draft, but I wouldn't take him if I was an NBA team right now. Not in the first round for sure.
Yeah, and I don't know how much of it was, I know the West Coast part of it. It's a long travel. It's a late night. Did the time have anything to do with it and such? But I don't know. Like it's they're gonna have to do that when it comes to the tournament, a little bit. So I don't know. But I've got to bounce back and get that. Got to win these next two for sure. Now, that Washington, and I know the Washington one is actually a quad 4 or a quad 1. Quad 1. Game. So, if they win that, it actually boosts up their resume a little bit more, which, okay. And then, because that's Purdue's a quad 1 game as well. Maryland's a quad 3. Oregon last night was a quad 2 matchup. So you've puts a little bit more importance on this Washington game coming up on Saturday, I feel like.
Just looking at the schedule, I have more confidence in us playing with Purdue than beating Washington or Maryland.
Isn't that something? Something? Man. And that's the thing, too. It's like, okay, what if they go and beat Purdue? Like, how do you judge this team at this point? Maybe, I don't know. They are going to be a frustrating team to try to figure out when we do our bracket challenges.
Yes.
When, that comes out, whatever seed that they're going to be. Because, again, I still feel like they're going to be a team that, let's say they are an 8 seed or a 7 seed that the 1 or the 2 is not going to want to face. But at the same time, is anybody going to have the cojones to pick Wisconsin to go to the Sweet 16? I don't know. I don't know.
The hard part is, if they are on from 3-point range, they're one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah.
You saw that against Michigan. You saw that against Illinois. The problem is, like last night when they went 14 of 45, they can lose to anybody.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Exactly. So, we got Mark saying regarding Badgers, I was concerned going into that game as they are not used to starting a game at 10 Central Time plus the travel. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's not a very good Oregon team this year too, and just the offensive putridness from Wisconsin yesterday. So, I wonder if CBS has an updated bracketology. Let me look, because I know Joe Lenardi doesn't do his until Tuesdays and Fridays. So CBS's was last updated, yesterday morning. So, all right, if anything does get updated here, we'll kind of take a look at it and such. But yeah, CBS's from yesterday still had Wisconsin as a 6 seed, and they would play one of the play-in winners for that 11 seed. So we'll see if that kind of maybe drops them down and such. But on the flip side, you had the Bucks last night picking up a nice win, and I know the Cavs were shorthanded. I know, you kind of look at it as like, well, who did the Cavs throw out there, and who did the Bucks beat and such. It's not the Mitchell and James Harden lineup and such, but still, no Giannis such. Bucks desperate for wins to try to climb up into this thing, and the Cavs have kind of had the Bucks number for over the last couple of years. So regardless, every win right now, I think for the Bucks is a nice win, and I'll take it. And even without Mitchell and Harden, that should have been viewed as, okay, let's take that as an opportunity and come away with a win. And the Bucks were able to do that, able to get a nice win. And it was a close game throughout. How many times in this season for the Bucks have we seen where it was like a quarter or 2 quarters where they just looked awful and their opponent outplayed them, and that a Bucks team kind of dug themselves in a hole? It was a fight back and forth every single quarter last night. Kevin Porter Jr. doing his thing, getting the game-winning shot, but you had contributions all across the board for the Bucks. 7 players in double-figure scoring. Now, the Bucks are probably going to shoot 42% from 3 every single night. That's a really, really, really good number, but they shot 55% overall. Here's the nuts, or the crazy thing. The Bucks only went to the free throw line 5 times last night. I think it was only just 1 time in the first half. That's it, compared to the Cavs, which the line 27 times. So basic math, elementary math tells us the Cavs shot 22 more free throws, and they made a 17 more point. They were plus 17 from the free throw line compared to the Bucks here. So you take that into consideration, that maybe makes it even a little bit more impressive that the Bucks were able to get a victory if the Cavs were plus 17 from that free throw line last night. But you look at Kevin Porter Jr. and Ryan Rollins this year, where would this Bucks team, I guess, be at this point, considering Giannis has missed so much time? Without Kevin Porter Jr. and Ryan Rollins, maybe it's bottom feeder team in the Eastern Conference.
All of a sudden, this team is kind of fun to watch.
Yeah.
Before the trade deadline, they were tear your eyes out.
Yeah.
They're going to lose by 30. Now, I don't care who's out. They're playing with teams at their best. And I don't know what flipped, what happened, but all of a sudden.
Was it just all the talk about going to the trade deadline? I mean, was it something that was just this cloud hanging over this team, and now that deadline went, they're just more relaxed and playing more confident? I don't know.
But all of a sudden, it's like we're going to get Giannis back. Who's stopping this team in the play-in? I mean, now that's obviously the play-in, but still, it's like they're playing winning basketball right now.
So maybe this is a question for everybody else, but assuming, it sounds like Giannis is close. Doc is doing his typical, saying he's close. Nobody really knows when he's coming back. Maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's next week, maybe it's in 2 weeks. Who the heck knows at this point? And I'm sure there's going to be the question, is this going to be a Bucks team that is going to continue to play well when you insert Giannis into the line? Some people will throw that in there. But let's assume that, okay, this team is playing this well. Now you add Giannis into it. We just said Badgers are a team that, if they get an 8 seed, 7 seed, a top seed's probably going to be nervous or not going to like that matchup going up against Wisconsin. If the Bucks do make the playoffs as a 10, 9 seed, whatever the case may be, could that potentially be a dangerous team? And when it comes to the postseason, if everybody's healthy, Giannis, you'd think well-rested, and hopefully the calf issues are well behind him. You've got the backcourt of Ryan Rollins and Kevin Porter Jr. playing at an incredibly high level. You got Cam Thomas coming off the bench and doing his thing. I mean, even last night, just 7 points from Cam Thomas. But is this potentially a Bucks team? Let's say, okay, they get in the play-in round. Let's say they advance them. And they play a top seed in the Eastern Conference. Bucks would be a unique team. I think a top seed in the Eastern Conference would be a little bit nervous going up against, especially if Giannis is in that lineup.
I think whenever you're playing a guy like Giannis, it's always a little scary. I'm definitely, like you said, interested to see if Giannis inserts directly into this lineup and all of a sudden they keep playing well. I do think some of their flow could be affected a little bit by Giannis just because he's not a three-point shooter and he's not really a passer. But if Giannis can learn to pass, he's going to get open guys. And this team is, just on paper, they're a good three-point shooting team. Mm-hmm. So
I think, the big thing for me when Giannis does come back is if we look at the comments that Giannis, was kind of saying when he was in the lineup and playing, and, he's saying selfish basketball. Last night was not selfish basketball. He kind of talked about, having the offense flow through him more and such. Okay. How do those two things work then? You know what I mean? Like if he's saying we're playing selfish basketball and then kind of saying, he's got to do more, got to flow through. Where's that happy medium? Because I think right now with how everything is gelling and you insert a superstar like Giannis, where is that happy medium going to come? Because let's be real. A lot of these guys, their numbers are going to go down when Giannis does come back into the lineup. Points-wise, minutes-wise, that sort of thing. A lot of that is going to go down. And I'm not saying I don't want Giannis in the lineup. The Bucks are a better team with Giannis in the lineup. It's just now they've got to figure out, okay, we've been playing really well as of late, 8-2 in our last 10. Now we've got Giannis coming back soon. How do we make that work so we maybe even take it up another level? Not just necessarily continuing to play at the level there, but maybe take it up another level too.
Which I remember at the time saying, yeah, Giannis should demand the ball because this team is not good. But now it's almost like, no, he needs to get the paint touches, but it kind of needs to be an inside-out game where they work it to the paint and he kicks it.
Yeah.
And Giannis is more than capable of triple-doubles like Jokic. Jokic is great for a reason. Giannis can do that too. He's just got to be the pass mindset now.
Yeah, I mean, you would think there's going to be opportunities when Giannis does come back to this lineup, and I think it was something we'd mentioned even when Dame was there for a couple of years. The drive and kick. There's going to be those opportunities on the outside and such. So, and the thing is too is like we just haven't seen these guys in the lineup. Like Kevin Porter Jr. Remember, he missed some time at the beginning. Obviously, Ryan Rollins, Miles Turner's new this year. We haven't really seen Miles Turner, Giannis, Kevin Porter Jr., Ryan Rollins all on the court at the same time for a lengthy amount this year. So it's still, even though that we are entering the final quarter of the regular season, it's still kind of a big unknown what this team, I think, is kind of capable of at this point.
I mean, it's definitely interesting to see. Cam Thomas is going to be interesting with Giannis just because Cam Thomas is just a one-on-one go-at-him kind of guy. He's just going to make a play. But he only played 16 minutes last night, and he was a minus 13. So, I mean, maybe defensively he's got to be a little bit better in order to play, but kind of people wanted him with Giannis. I don't think they necessarily work well. Mm-hmm. It'll be, like I said, interesting to watch, though.
Yeah, and that's the big unknown at this point too. So, but they like you said, they're definitely a lot more fun to watch right now than what they were for a majority part of this season. So, hopefully they could continue that, and it's going to be another tough matchup against the Knicks coming here. But man, you get a win against the Knicks, things are starting to you start to gain a little bit more confidence and keep rolling here. Just maybe they can get in there. So, all right, we got to take a quick break. Plenty more to get to here, though, this morning. Stick around. We'll be back here in just a couple minutes. When it comes to glass, clarity matters. At Post Glass and Mirror in Chippewa Falls, you'll find expert craftsmanship and dependable service for your home, business, or vehicle. From custom shower doors and mirrors to window replacements and auto glass repair, they do it all, and they do it right. Whether you are upgrading your space or fixing a crack before it spreads, Post Glass and Mirror delivers quality that you can see. Local, experienced, and trusted. That's Post Glass and Mirror in Chippewa Falls. Clear solutions built to last. We, last night, like we normally do during the week at night, put up our Post Glass and Mirror 715 Speaks poll question. We asked Brewers fans, who do they thought would have the most wins as a Brewers pitcher this season? And it's between two right now. Quinn Priester, 39% of the votes. Brandon Woodruff has 35% of the votes. Chad Patrick getting 10%. And Mizorowski is tied with the other option of one of the new guys that's coming on in. So Priester just edging out Brandon Woodruff. If you still want to vote, you still can. Just go to Sports Talk 105.1's Facebook page and vote in the Post Glass and Mirror 715 Speaks poll question. Brewers picked up another win in spring training yesterday. It was an offensive game, well, at least in a couple innings of that game. 12 total runs scored in the fourth between the Giants and the Brewers. Brewers getting 7, Giants 5. And then in the ninth, Giants taking the lead back by scoring 4 in the top, but the Brewers are able to come back and put up 3 in the bottom of the ninth for a little walk-off victory. But it was the Bryce Turang game yesterday. 5 RBIs, including 2 home runs. That included a grand slam. Jesus Mate also getting a couple of hits yesterday, too. So it was kind of the infielders' day yesterday when you look at it. So, but Bryce Turang is a guy that we have seen over the last few years just continue to improve from an offensive standpoint. He's always been a great defender, Gold Glove winner, Platinum Glove winner. But every year that he has been at the major leagues, he has just gotten better and better from an offensive standpoint and has improved his power numbers. I mean, go back to his rookie year of 2023, and I think it's fair to say he was abysmal as an offensive player. I think even getting, if memory serves me correct, sent back down to try to figure it out. I mean, he finished the season hitting .218, and on base of just .285, slugging just .300, and an OPS of a .585. That was it. And then 2024 turns the corner a bit. 7 home runs, which is just one more than what he had in 2023, but 57 RBIs, 50 stolen bases, hitting .254, .316 on base, .349 slugging, and a .665 OPS. And then last year takes it up another notch, 18 home runs, 81 RBIs, .288 batting average, .359 on base, .435 slugging, .794 OPS, just 24 stolen bases, about half of what he had in the year prior. So his projections, according to Baseball Reference, by the way, they don't have him hitting as many home runs, just 13, and 30 stolen bases, 63, .265 batting average, and an OPS of a .726. But I don't know about you, Intern Carter, but I'm really curious, excited, intrigued, however we want to describe it, to see what else Bryce Turang can do from an offensive standpoint this year. I mean, you look at what he has done every single year, and now I know it's kind of a recency thing here, but 2 home runs, including that towering grand slam. We talk about power. Where's the power on this team? Is Bryce Turang the power guy? Well, is he a legit option? Is that something? Are we going to talk about maybe, we've talked about Jackson Cheerio being a 20-20 guy or a 30-30 guy. What about Bryce Turang? Is Bryce Turang a 20-20 guy? Is he a 30-30 guy going forward? Should that be the expectation for Bryce Turang this year? Is it possible?
Yeah, this year it almost, to me, seems like I have more confidence in Bryce Turang hitting 20 home runs than Churio. Now, Bryce Turang did, last year was kind of later in the year where he hit all those home runs. But if he can start that way, I mean, that's 25, 30 home runs this year for him. And that would be the power that we always said we wanted, and it'd come from internally. But that also mean I don't think we'd be able to sign him to a contract. So
yeah,
there's a little give and take there.
Yeah, you breaking it down what he did last year. You know, August, that month of August is when he hit 343, 10 home runs, was 694 slugging. Those are just insane numbers that he had in the month of August. Cooled down a little bit from a power standpoint. September still hit 294 and such. But, I mean, that dude was just on a tear. June, he had a great month, too, 333. You're right. It's probably looking towards, okay, they're going to be able to keep him. But then they got a guy named Jesus Mate that's potentially there, too. So, I mean, they've at least secured themselves. I think they've prepared, not only we talked about with pitching and that for the future, but you look at a lot of their infielders, they've got options and backup options going forward too. But I don't want to think about that right now, focusing on the now. But is it fair to say that Bryce Turang, is he, Jackson Churio, I think the sky is the limit for him and he could be a superstar and that's kind of the talk. But right now, if you had to maybe power rank Brewers position players, is Turang one? Is it Churio? Contreras? You throw him in there? I don't know. I feel like if Turang hits some of the marks that maybe we should expect from him, we know what Contreras could do. If Churio takes another step this year, how good can this team be this year?
I'm excited to watch Contreras without his hand injury.
Yeah.
I think that he'll definitely hit more home runs this year and have a better average.
And he's got stuff to play for, too, money-wise, right?
So I still think he's has more potential power than Turang. But, I mean, he didn't show it last year, and Turang had a crazy end of the year. So if he can carry that over, all of a sudden you're looking at two players who can hit over 20-plus, or likely to hit over 20-plus home runs. And Churio's obviously the wild card there. I mean, this team's always fun to watch, but this year it's intriguing for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely – there's a lot of unknowns about this team, but I think it also makes it exciting in that aspect too. And obviously I think that's why the projections aren't very high on the Brewers because, it's just people don't know. I think there's to quote Jordan, the ceiling is a roof for a lot of these players, but when it comes to projections and all the national analysts and such, they want more for sure things. They want to, when they make their picks and all that, they're going to go with what they think is more of a for sure thing at this point. Whereas Brewers, I mean, they've defied expectations for the last couple of years, and by all accounts, they'll have to defy them again this year. But, I mean, you look at it, there's a lot of really, really talented players on this team. It's just maybe not the household names that everybody kind of knows at this point.
You kind of mentioned it. I think the Brewers may be sending a little bit of a message because Mate has not played shortstop in spring training yet, and he has only subbed out Bryce Turang. So I don't know if they're trying to show confidence in Ortiz or if they're preparing for the future without Bryce Turang because they also think he's going to be good this year. It could just be spring training.
Right.
But it's interesting to me that Mate, a shortstop by trade, has not had any shortstop play in spring training. And obviously, we're 6 games in.
Mm-hmm.
But I would think they'd play him a little bit if they thought he was going to be their shortstop of the future.
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten Jet Williams some reps over there too. Cooper Pratt's, their depth is good. From a minor league system, from a younger standpoint, they've definitely got some good depth there too. So, but and that makes it exciting for the future, but also makes it exciting for the now too because they've got. The more, I'll admit it, beginning of spring training, I was like, okay, and I don't know if I'm just kind of, okay, baseball season's coming up here, so I'm getting a little bit more biased. I'm a little bit more excited, and maybe a little bit more of the beer goggles are coming on and the rose-colored glasses. But it's hard. You really look at it with that talent. How can they not compete again for a division if they stay healthy? And these guys play to the level that they can. How do they not compete for the division?
I mean, Garrett Mitchell played and didn't get hurt, so there you go.
One check mark is off. Now just do it for a consistent basis, right? So, okay, we got to take our final break, and we are already done with the first quarter. So don't forget, coming up a little bit later on, we're going to play a little match game. We're going to play NFL quarterback match game. A lot of talk about where some free agents, could there be some trades? Not a ton of options in the draft this year outside of the first overall pick. But we're going to play a little quarterback match game coming up a little bit later on. And if you want to play along with us, please do so. We're looking at these teams specifically. The Cardinals, the Vikings, the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Steelers, the Browns, the Colts, the Dolphins, the Jets. Who do you think will be the Week 1 starter for those teams? All right, make your picks by hitting us up with a message, YouTube, Shoe Doctors Bullpen line, whatever is easier for you. All right, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back after these quick words. Coming up on Friday, March 20th, we'll be doing the program from the VFW Post 305 located on Star Avenue in Eau Claire. It's a little hoops skip day. Going to be watching some college basketball, doing the program from over there. But if you look, a lot of you take the day off to watch some basketball. If you're looking where you should be going, head on over to the VFW Post at 305. We'll have some free Busch Light until it runs out, some prizes, some giveaways, all that good stuff. So all that fun will start at 11. But again, we'll do the program from 6A to 10A over at the VFW Post 305. And speaking of VFW Post 305, it is Customer Appreciation Day coming up this Saturday in appreciation of your continued, unwavering, and ongoing support of the VFW Post 305. Join them this Saturday for $2 mugs of domestic beer all day long, as well as raffles and fabulous prizes. So put that on your calendar for this weekend as well. The Customer Appreciation Day going on at VFW Post 305, located on Star Avenue in Eau Claire. All right. So it is Combine Week. It continues. The Underwear Olympics will officially get underway today with on-field workouts and such. Do you pay attention to the Combine at all, Intern Carter?
A little bit.
Yeah?
Not really. I mean, I'll pay attention when, like Nicky Manwari was the guy last year who raised his draft stock a ton.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I'm not really like diving into how much so-and-so bench pressed and what speed somebody ran on the defensive line.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know if it's, does the Packers not having a first-round pick hinder it a little bit for you or, I mean, not really? I mean,
maybe a little bit. Like, I'll still watch the draft and I'll still pay attention because you never know, but I don't know. With the Packers, it's hard because they never draft who I want usually. Like except for last year, I wanted Golden and they got him. But so usually I look at the combine, pick out who I want, and they draft somebody totally different. So
right, yeah. I honestly feel like right now I'm gonna really like that first round because there's gonna be no stress involved and such until it gets later on, and I'm like, ooh, that guy's falling. Is he gonna last for Green Bay when they pick in the 50s in the second round or something like that? So, but. I used to be really into the combine because I thought I really needed to be because I liked the draft. I love the draft. I love the NFL draft. Now it's just like, okay. Yeah, if somebody has a good, 40 or they set the benchmark, cool story, sort of thing. How's that going to help my football team now? That's the big question for me.
Well, and like guys like Mendoza aren't even really doing the combine anymore. They're doing their pro days. So
yeah, and I feel like teams probably get the most out of their medical checks and interviewing the players too. So, but this was from Andrew Bryant. Obviously used to be a Packers executive back in the day. And he was talking about the combine. He said, quote, "I would try to ask questions off script. They've all been coached up by the agents on what to say. I want to find that kid who's doing 50 push-ups out of the bed, who is writing a journal. I found that people who do hard things first are usually the best people in doing all the things they need to do." And I'm kind of curious, too, when it comes to, I don't know if we'll find out anymore, but some of the weird questions that these players get asked at the combine. Like, I don't know if you've seen some of them over the years. Would you rather be a dog or a cat has been asked, and I understand to an extent why they ask it because they want to see the reaction, because football is such a reactionary game and sport, and they want to see that. But at the same time, some of them are just absolutely ridiculous and such. And you just probably have to have a good chuckle about it, too.
Yeah.
So, but, all right, shot clock's going to cut us off in a minute. Don't forget, it is a Takeover Thursday. So, what's a topic that we should hit up? You act like the producer this morning, so send it on over to us, all right? Let us know. Also, enough is enough. What are some of the sports stories or opinions or whatever you want to call them out there that you're just like, man, enough is enough with this. So hit us up. Also, send us your questions that you have for Jake, DNR Warden Jake. He'll be joining us at his usual time at 8:30 to help answer any of those questions. Text us on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line with those questions, 715-830-1912. Coming up a little bit later on, we'll play our match game, quarterback match game. If you want to participate, you want to play along, please do so. All right, send over your picks too. We'll get to those coming up a little bit later on as we'll play that game. Maybe we'll do that in the 7 o'clock hour. How about that? So, all right, shot clock cut me off right about now. There we go. Had to time it out. So, 1 quarter in, we've got 3 more to go. We've got some news updates, and we'll be back to kick off the second hour in just a couple minutes. All right, here we go. Second quarter, second hour, kick it off right now on this Thursday morning. Thanks for hanging out with us. Whether you are listening on the radio dials, maybe online, streaming it, app, Alexa, Google devices, whatever the case may be, we appreciate it. We're going to get back to some more hoops chats. We spent a good portion of the first hour talking some Badger basketball, a bad loss last night to Oregon. But a solid win for the Bucks last night, taking on a shorthanded Cavaliers team, but nonetheless a win is a win. And the Bucks right now 8-2 in their last 10 games. They'll have a big one coming your way tomorrow when they welcome the New York Knickerbockers to town. So we'll hit that up, or we'll get back to that coming up a little bit later on. We've got more baseball talk with the Brewers picking up a win yesterday. Bryce Turang Day yesterday with a couple of home runs from him, including a grand slam. So we'll talk some more Brewers coming up here in just a skosh. It is also a Takeover Thursday. So what are some of the topics that you think we should be chatting about? If you got an idea, hey, send it on over, all right? And then if we like it, we'll hit it up. So also, enough is enough. What is your enough's enough for this Thursday? You can please send those too. Also, your questions for Mr. Jake Boakes, DNR Warden, coming up at 8:30. We're going to play a little quarterback match game later on this hour. But speaking of Brewers, get back to a little bit of Brewers here. One of your topics, for intern Carter, I should say, sitting across the way, was if Jesus Made has a great spring training, does he deserve a shot at some point in the season? Sounds like maybe you think yay, yes. Where do you play him, though?
I'm not sure, yeah. Well, and it kind of is dependent on if Joey Ortiz has as bad of a year as he had last year, in my opinion. But I don't think he does. But let's just say he rakes in spring training. I mean, you saw Vinny Capper get a spot in the opening lineup last year because he hit 4 home runs in like 8 games.
Yeah.
And that didn't turn out. But, I mean, Made is in Double-A, and he's younger than Churio, but Churio jumped from Double-A to the MLB.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It just, like, yesterday, 2 hits over 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
That's not something an 18-year-old typically does. And so to be hitting like that this early in his career, you kind of want him as quickly as possible, but you don't want to stun his growth. So it's hard.
Do we know what he's hitting so far in spring training? I was trying to find that. Maybe I can. I don't know if that's up there or not. But yeah, I'm kind of curious. There's such a logjam, right? I mean, because you do have Jet Williams. That's also a part of the equation. It's not like they're going to trade Bryce Turang at the trade deadline or anything like that. That would just be that's a non-starter and all that sort of stuff. So that to me is like the big question mark. Where do you play him? You know, where do you play him? Okay, let's say, is it a possibility? Let's say Joey Ortiz does not play well this year. Okay, he got a shot, but it's not going well. Defensively, it's probably fine, but it's offense that I think we're all kind of concerned about. Could we see a possibility at some point where Turang's still at second and Jet Williams is playing third and Jesus Made is at short?
That's the hard part. I would love that. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I would. I want to see him in the MLB this year just as a fan of the Brewers because I don't think we're going to have baseball next year, and that saddens me, but at the same time, I want to see him this year then. I don't think the Brewers will do it.
Yeah.
I think Cooper Pratt would be first up.
Yeah, that's another option too. So it looks like Made's hitting 250 so far, but I don't know how many ABs he's gotten so far in spring training and such. But is that maybe the future infield in the next, whenever, if it is next year or the year after or such? I don't think that's completely out of the question that could be the future. Then you got, Brock Wilken. I think they're pretty much, he's so huge that they've been trying. He seems to be projecting better as a first baseman sort of thing. So, gosh, it's hard not to kind of think about that maybe in the future and that prospect and such. But, yeah, I think they're at a point, too, where they probably don't have to rush it with Made because of the depth that they got there. But, if he rakes, especially offensively, when do you call him up? Yeah, that's going to be something to watch. He's going to be a guy I think a lot of Brewers fans, probably not going to be on the opening day roster, but he's going to be a guy that I think a lot of fans are really going to follow along in the minor leagues. Kind of similar to Jackson Churio before he made it up to the major leagues. I think it was like even Brewers.com was doing videos or even the writers were saying, oh, Churio hit another home run in the minors. Just kind of like, all right, yeah, it's going to happen at some point. And I don't know if Jesus Made is going to be the guy that gets that next contract like a Jackson Churio and try to lock him up for a while, but he's definitely an exciting prospect. And is he going to be short? I feel like he's not going to be a third base option. He's either going to be second or short, but Turang, with what he's played, that ain't going to happen anytime soon. So it sure seems like it's probably going to be shortstop at some point.
He's playing a lot of second in spring training. But, I mean, you just look at what he's able to do, and it's single A, but 83 games, 267 average, 4 home runs, gets moved up to high A. 27 games, gets moved up to double A. I mean, he's raking, playing really good defensively, so they're just moving him up. And at some point, it's like, just why not try him?
If you do bring him to the major league, you got to play him.
Yes.
And that's not going to be at second, though, with Turang.
No.
So you can't bring him and just sit him down. He's got to play.
And the only way this would work is if Ortiz struggles offensively.
Yep. Or knock
an
on
injury.
wood. Yeah, knock on wood.
But I feel like it would be so fun if he would come up. And Jackson Churio took a little bit to hit. I mean, he's hitting 216. I thought he was going to get set down at one point in his first year.
Yeah.
He didn't. They stuck with it, and he became a superstar later that year. So obviously you have to have patience with these guys, but I just think it would be fun to have them up. I don't think it'll happen, though.
It would be entertaining. It'd be intriguing. It's a good reminder, too, that they're set up to be pretty solid for the next few years here. So they've got quite a bit of depth, infield, pitching, all that good stuff. So outfield, we'll see. A lot depends on Garrett Mitchell and such, because, I mean, we got the best player in baseball manning right field with Salvatore Frelick. So, and then Churio and left. But if they could just figure out that center field, if it's Garrett Mitchell or not, man, I think every day now I'm getting more bullish on this team. I feel like Major League Baseball is overlooking them. I just
again,
feel like it. Yeah, again,
How?
I feel like they're overlooking just because they don't have high price talent, or their highest price talent is Yelich and Brandon Woodruff, which it probably shouldn't be. But at the same time, you got Gold Glove winners and guys who are playing above what they're expected, and I know that's why the projections don't like it. But I think the wild card in this whole thing is Pat Murphy is the perfect maestro, and he is conducting all of this to a T. He's playing all the right chords right now, and yeah, it's how do you not there's a lot of unknowns, I get it, but if they all hit, man, I think they're going to be another playoff team at this point. So,
and listening to one of the radio broadcasts, it was kind of like they were hinting at Brandon Woodruff not being ready to start the season. Well, now those trades make sense, right? Because yes, he's your highest paid pitcher, but he's also older and he's had arm problems. And so the ability to give him some rest, like we talked about, 6 days of rest in between starts could be good.
Yep.
And you have that ability because you have all these major league ready arms.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun
versatility,
to watch.
right?
Yes.
They've got a lot of versatility when it comes to that. So, yeah, I'm definitely excited to get this season going here soon. So, and it's a little over a month away coming up here for the Brewers. I should have a schedule. March
26th, I believe.
All right, so yeah, 1 month from today. So how about that? There you go. I like it. Yeah, March 26th, 1 month from today is opening day for the Brewers. So maybe we'll make that into a question for the rest of you. With 1 month away from opening day for the Crew, do you feel better about the prospects of this team maybe kind of, repeating as division champs or making the postseason again? Or with 1 month away, what's your biggest concern maybe for this team outside of injuries? Let's take health, because that's for everybody, right? I mean, that's everybody at this point. So outside of health, outside of injuries, with 1 month to go in spring or to opening day, what's your biggest concern for this Brewers team for this season? Think about that for a little bit and hit us up. All right. Okay. Let's switch some gears here. Coming up next hour, we'll play a little match game. A lot of talk with quarterbacks, quarterback movement, who's going to go where, who's going to play where. Let's have a little fun with this. We'll throw some names out there, and we'll play a little match game with this. So, obviously, we know a lot of teams who already have their starting quarterbacks, and we don't need to hit those up. But the 9 teams that we're kind of specifically looking at here, going to be the Cardinals. We'll throw the Vikings in here. I am throwing the Chiefs in here just with the assumption. We don't know yet. Let's just, for argument's sake, say, because I think it's an interesting one, Patrick Mahomes isn't ready for week 1. Let's throw that in there because I kind of have a wild card pick and I wanted to do this one. We'll throw the Raiders in there, but I think we kind of know. But maybe he doesn't start day 1. Steelers, Browns, Colts, Dolphins, Jets. So 9 teams. 9 teams. All right. Let's play a little quarterback matchmaker. But we got to take a quick break, and we'll be back right here in just a couple minutes to play that match game. Accidents happen, but getting back on the road shouldn't be stressful. At Superior Auto Body in Eau Claire, you'll find experienced technicians, quality craftsmanship, and service that you can trust. From collision repair and dent removal to full paint work and insurance coordination, they handle the details so you don't have to. They'll restore your vehicle the right way, safely, professionally, and with attention to every detail. When your vehicle needs expert care, choose the team that puts quality first. That's Superior Auto Body in Eau Claire, bringing your vehicle back to life, one repair at a time. All right. Let me bring that up. You want to play a little match game? All right. So we got to have the match game theme. Old school game show back way before your time, intern Carter. So whenever we play match game, we gotta throw in the old school theme song in the background there. So we're playing a little quarterback match game. I think this is going to be kind of a crazy offseason with some of these teams and the decisions that they're going to have with their quarterbacks and such. And you got a mixture of teams that either need a new starter, maybe need a temporary starter, or they don't know what the heck maybe they need some veteran backup or veteran competition, if you will. So we are just focusing on 9 teams, just 9, because let's be real. Seattle, the Rams, the 49ers, the Packers, the Bears, the Lions, the Saints, the Panthers, Falcons, the Bucks, Giants, Commanders, Cowboys, Eagles, Chargers, Broncos, Bengals, Ravens, Texans, Jags, Titans, Patriots, Bills, all have their starters. I threw Falcons in there for Michael Penix Jr. So that, I think, is accurate, right? There's really no probably controversy and such, although I'm sure there's still some Packers fans that say there should be with Jordan Love. But with this case, we're looking at the Cardinals, the Vikings, the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Steelers, the Browns, the Colts, Dolphins, and the Jets. Matchmaker, who we think will be the Week 1 starter for these teams. Let's start with the Arizona Cardinals. I'll let you go first. Who do you think is going to be the Week 1 starter for the Arizona Cardinals in turn? And the rest of you could play along too if you want.
All right, I think that Ty Simpson gets drafted by them. I think Jacoby Brissett starts around Week 1. He played well last year. I think he stays there.
All right. I went back and forth on this one. When you really, I was working on this last night, and I don't know if I started to overthink stuff and going back and forth, but then when you kind of really think about it, it kind of gets difficult. I'm going to go a little bit wild card here. I say Kyler Murray's still the Week 1 starter. LaFleur, Mike LaFleur, Nathaniel Hackett is his offensive coordinator. I think they try it one more year, bringing in an offensive-minded guy with an experienced offensive coordinator, see what they can get out of it. And if it doesn't work, especially kind of maybe in a little bit of a weak draft with quarterbacks and such, run it back one more year with Kyler Murray and see what you got. So I'm going to go a little bit against the grain.
Yeah.
And I think it's still going to be Kyler Murray Week 1. So Jacoby Brissett is still the backup just in case things go south. Mm-hmm. So how about, let's go, well, this might be the easy one, the Raiders.
Mendoza.
Yeah, I got Mendoza. We'll just get that one out of the way here too. So let's do the Steelers.
I think Aaron Rodgers comes back.
I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers too. I feel like that's going to happen. How do I want to phrase this? More confident in that this year than maybe I was last year.
Yeah.
If that kind of makes sense. So, yeah, and honestly, I'm rooting for it to happen. I kind of want it to come full circle moment. Mike McCarthy's over there now too. All the best to the Steelers if it doesn't affect the Packers. So it'll be kind of another fun team to pay attention to see how that season goes. How about the Colts?
Okay, so I think Daniel Jones is going to get an extension.
Yep.
Are you talking about a stand-in kind of guy?
Yep.
Joe Flacco.
Ooh, okay, going back to that's a good pick. That's a good pick. Yeah, I think Daniel Jones resigns. Obviously, the Achilles injury is kind of, we don't know if he's going to be ready to go or not Week 1. So I also have them bringing back a former starter for the Colts, but I'm going to go Gardner Minshew coming back and kind of being the temporary starter until Daniel Jones is cleared and ready to go. And maybe it is Week 1 or not, but I'm operating under the assumption that's not going to happen for Week 1. So how about then, now things get a little bit more interesting here. Let's go with the Minnesota Vikings.
Kirk Cousins.
Ooh, you are going to go Kirk
back.
Cousins. Okay. All right. This one's tough. So I do think it's going to be a quarterback battle, but I'm not going to go Kirk Cousins. I initially did. For these, I went against the grain on all of them just because I want to see kind of chaos happen.
Okay.
Justin Fields. I would Justin Fields going over to Minnesota to provide maybe a little competition because I still feel like they want J.J. McCarthy to work. They need J.J. McCarthy to work. And I don't know if bringing Kirk Cousins in how that would help with his mindset, competition-wise. Justin Fields comes in. It's like, okay, it's not really like a for sure. I feel like you bring in Kirk Cousins, it might give the impression like, okay, I'm not going to be a starter. They're going to give it to Kirk. Whereas Justin Fields, like, okay, it's a legit quarterback battle sort of thing. Still a little bit younger. Why not? Throw in Justin Fields to that. So let's do Dolphins.
This one was hard because I wrestled with Malik Willis on either the Cardinals or the Dolphins. And I put him on the Dolphins just because I think the Packer ties, they'll end up paying him more.
Yeah, I got Malik Willis over there too. So Malik Willis is going to get paid, and I hope Malik Willis goes to a good situation.
Yeah, don't go to the Browns.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Speaking of the Browns, who do you got?
I went with Kyler Murray. I think they're going to take...
Stack it up quarterbacks over there. Man.
Like Jesse Winker, they're in the playoffs. They're going to take a massive swing and miss, but
nice.
I don't think Shador's the long-term starter. I don't think the offensive coordinator necessarily likes Shador. I think they go outward, and Kyler Murray's that guy.
It would make sense with Todd Monken coming over from Baltimore, kind of having that mobile quarterback experience. He worked with Lamar Jackson and such with that, but they've got so much money invested in quarterbacks that I don't know. They would have to. I don't know if they would be able to trade. If the Cardinals traded for Murray, they would have to eat a lot of that salary. Sort of thing. It's
dependent on the Cardinals eating almost all of the salary.
Yeah, exactly. So I got them standing pat. So I think it's going to be Shador or Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson, man.
Yeah, right. It's not great. it's not great, but I don't know how much more. It has become a joke. I don't know what's worse, that or the Jets when it comes to quarterbacks. Which that's the next one now is the Jets.
The Jets. All I'm seeing are Spencer Rattler to the Jets. So,
I saw that too.
I mean, so hard with the Jets. I could see him signing Kenny Pickett, I guess, but I don't even know. I guess I'll just go with Spencer Rattler.
So they got Frank Reich now as offensive coordinator, veteran, former head coach, longtime offensive coordinator. You look at some of the quarterbacks he's worked with, and when he was a head coach with the Colts, it was all over the place. It was Andrew Luck, then it was Jacoby Brissett, Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers, and then he was at Carolina for a hot minute. You try to find those, and the Jets need to find something there. I thought about Kirk Cousins as potentially matched, but I don't know if that might be. I think if Kirk Cousins wants to start, it doesn't matter the team, maybe over there. Obviously, Minnesota there too. I'm going to go again. I'm going against the grain on all these. Tua stays within a division, and is going to be the Jets starting quarterback now. Tua on Broadway. So
I also think Mac Jones could be a guy.
Matt Jones, I think if a team offers a second-round pick to the 49ers, then I could see them doing it. I also see them saying, "Oh, we're good." It just takes that one team though to offer that second-round pick. I'm throwing the Chiefs in here with the assumption that Patrick Mahomes is not ready week 1.
I'm believing all the rumors. Derek Carr.
Oh, okay.
I think they need a strong backup to start the season. Chris Olunakun is not the guy.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Here's where I have Kirk Cousins going.
Oh.
Week 1 starter for the Chiefs. He's up there in age. He's got his money. Kirk, you got your money.
Yeah.
You got paid. What don't you have right now? It's a ring, a Super Bowl ring. Why not go to the Chiefs, probably play a couple games, start a couple games. You're on a team that's got Super Bowl aspirations, right? I mean, that's still the goal here. Go do your thing. Go be the Chad Henne when Chad Henne had to be over there and win some games for them. And then you could be the placeholder till Patrick Mahomes comes back. So, yep, you probably won't start the whole season. But you're almost 40 years old, dude, and you've got plenty of money. Why not come back a little bit more to the Midwest and just hold down the fort till Patrick Mahomes comes back?
And he's got experience, which I think the Chiefs need. So that's kind of why I went Derek Carr, just because if all the rumors are suggesting he's trying to come back, if he is actually trying to come back, he won't be able to start a full season. So you start 5 games and then go back up Patrick Mahomes, I think.
Yeah.
Best case scenario.
Yep. So, again, I want chaos, and I went outside of most of the predictions there. So I wouldn't be too surprised if Kirk Cousins goes to, I do think if he does sign with a team like the Chiefs, then that probably tells you that they don't think Patrick Mahomes will be ready week 1.
Yeah.
So it's dicey. We don't know. We don't know yet.
Even if he's on track, I mean, those injuries are just, you never know. So they need a backup anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So
I did think I originally had Justin Fields
to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I want Justin Fields to the Packers.
That's another one too. So and then you look at the names we didn't see or didn't say. I don't know if a team's going to bring in Russell Wilson. He might just be done unless they want a veteran. Tyrod Taylor's still out there. You had Flacco. Kenny Pickett. I mean, that's a former first rounder. Jimmy Garoppolo is a bit. Mitchell Trubisky.
Trubisky's an interesting one.
Yeah. Trey Lance, is somebody going to give him a flyer as a backup, former top 5 pick? So, I mean, there's some veteran options out there for some of these teams for backup quarterbacks. But, if you're Green Bay, I know you've got Desmond Ridder, who's got experience and such, but maybe do bring in somebody else too, just as a backup or as another option. I don't know. There's options. So I think it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be fun for sure.
Yeah. Zach Wilson's, I think, even available, isn't he? Yeah.
He is. It'll be cool to see who the Packers, I think they'll bring in somebody, but
I wonder if Zach Wilson would be an option to go to Arizona and pair up with LaFleur. He was the offensive coordinator with the Jets when Zach Wilson was there.
I mean, maybe he wants nothing of him, but
that could be too, but maybe as a backup option.
Backup.
We'll see. All right, that was Match Game. If you want to play along, and you don't have to do every team that we did, but if you want to do some of the teams, feel free to do so. Hit us up. All right, with quick text, 715-830-1912. We'll take a quick break. Plenty more to get to, though, coming up after these quick words. When it comes to quality meats, you don't guess, you go right to the experts. And that's at Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire, where you're not just buying meat, you are buying experience. Hand-cut steaks, fresh ground beef, house-made brats and sausages, thick-cut chops done exactly the way you like them. This is your neighborhood butcher shop, where quality comes first and service still matters. Planning a cookout, stock it up for the week, or looking for that perfect steak for dinner tonight? Stop on in to Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire and taste the difference that a real butcher makes. Mike's Star Market, fresh, local, and done right. Intern Carter found the updated CBS brackets after Wisconsin lost last night, and they did drop down to a 7 seed in the latest one. They've got them playing Auburn, and if they were to win, possibly playing 2-seeded Iowa State in the next round. It's also the Midwest region where Michigan is the then you got Nebraska in there. So what is that? 3 Big Ten teams in that region? Mm-hmm. Honestly, I wouldn't mind the 6 seed in that one because you'd probably you got North Dakota State as a 14 and then Virginia as a 3. I'd rather possibly play Virginia, to be honest with you. So
that's the side I want, though.
Yeah.
Because I think Iowa State's beatable. Virginia, Kentucky's beatable. We already beat Michigan. Obviously, they're going to be hard, but Auburn's the one that scares me on that side. Just as a 10 seed.
Yeah.
Like, if I could get any other 10 seed, I'd almost take them. But that wouldn't be awful.
So it's Duke, Michigan, UConn, and Arizona as the 1 seed so far. So, which, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Michigan State's a 4 seed. That kind of, all right, yeah, I suppose. Well, Iowa's a 7 seed as well. I'm just kind of comparing the other. Utah State would be the other, and Villanova. Okay. Anybody? All right. Yeah. BYU is a 6, I think, is a dangerous team. I know they're not playing great basketball as of late, but okay, if we use this bracket, BYU potentially would play Gonzaga in the next round. That would be a fun matchup, but if you're Gonzaga, you're like, really?
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So, and then even like Florida. Florida is sneaking up, I think, on people this year.
Mm-hmm.
For a team that, national champs and such, I think they're really sneaking up, and nobody's talking about them that much. And they're 2 seed there. But, man, a potential BYU 2 or a BYU and Florida matchup, that would be fun.
Yeah. And then Arizona,
Michigan State, potentially. Oh, man, that West region's kind of fun. It's got some spicy good matchups in there. But even Iowa's with a good defense, if they were to play Florida in the round of 32, that'd be an interesting matchup too. So we will have our bracket challenge up for pre-registration coming up. It should be hopefully by today at some point. So if you go to our website and you click on the Fan Cave tab and such and scroll all the way down to the bottom, it hopefully will be up there fairly soon. So if you want to pre-register for that, you'll be able to do so. Obviously, you can't make picks because, you're not going to do that till Selection Sunday and such. But when it comes to March Madness and college basketball, where does that rank on like your favorite sports events and such? Are you a big college basketball? March Madness, yeah.
Number 1.
Number 1? Ooh.
I love March Madness. That Thursday, I will have my radio on all day, every day. I'll watch as many games as I can that weekend. I love sports on from 11 to 10 at night. It's my favorite time of the year. Yeah, March Madness does it for me.
Nice.
Even if we don't get the upsets, I was fine with last year just because we had the best teams in the end. So, I love March Madness. Obviously, the NFL season's fun, but this is something else.
Number 1. All right. Would Super Bowl number 2 or
Yeah, Super Bowl's number 2.
Yeah.
The problem, I think if the Packers ever played in a Super Bowl, it'd be different.
Mm-hmm.
My experience is, even though they've been good, it's heartbreaking losses. So the playoffs are kind of tough for me. But and even with this, it's tough for the Badgers. But I just expect them to lose every year. So,
well, hey, maybe they could change it around this year. They're such a hard team to gauge this year. It's going to be so dependent, I think, on even if it is, matchup based. If they're not hitting threes, they're not winning.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're going to be cold in one of those games, they're going to be out. And it's just, I can't predict that.
Which is the scary part for them, though, right?
Yeah.
Because they start hitting threes. Auburn's not going to stop them. Iowa State's not going to score enough to beat them. Virginia and Kentucky, there's no chance. So all of a sudden, you start hitting threes and you're in the Elite Eight playing Michigan.
Yeah.
Now, you don't hit threes and Auburn rolls you.
Yeah.
Because Auburn's a good team. So there's give and take, but it could be fun.
It could be. It could be. And it could be really frustrating, too, if they just go, brick by brick by brick like they were last night against Oregon and such. So, but, yeah, it might be a flip of a coin for me when it comes to Wisconsin, how far I'm willing to pick them. Because, again, I could see them going to the Sweet 16, and I could see them losing in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Golly. I hate that feeling. So, but that's the beauty of March Madness, though, too, right? So, I mean, you were around, I was around when we finally saw a 1 seed lose to a 16 seed. And what did Virginia do the following year? They won a national championship. So.
Well, when the Badgers went on their run and got screwed because of the refs. But anyways, that was a fun year.
Yep. So Badgers will be back at it, hopefully, with a bounce-back win against Washington. It is considered a quad 1 win if they were to win that game against Washington this weekend. So maybe that would be enough to boost them back up to I don't know. Beating Purdue definitely would, I would imagine, kind of get them back in there too. But if they make a deep run when it comes to the Big Ten Conference Tournament, that would help boost their resume, I would imagine, as well. So it's I just not trying to cop out or anything. It's just so hard to predict this Badger team night in, night out, what the heck they're going to do at this point. It's all dependent on the 3-point shot. So looking at the Big Ten Conference standings with that loss last night, Badgers are now I should say now but they are now 1.5 games out from that tie between Michigan State and Purdue. Right now it's Michigan's conference. I mean, they're up 3 games against Nebraska and Illinois. And then it's Michigan State, Purdue, who are 3.5 back, and then you've got Wisconsin and UCLA, who are 5 games back. So Wisconsin, UCLA are 11-6 in conference play. Purdue and Michigan State 12-4. Illinois and Nebraska 13-4, and then Michigan 16-1. Of course, the one lone loss coming at the hands of Wisconsin. So
Michigan State and Purdue, I believe, play today. So
that's a good one.
That will knock one of them down to
half
game back.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Wisconsin's 6th seed right now in the Big Ten Conference. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of movement yet here in these next 3-4 games to wrap up the regular season. I think it's safe to say Michigan is going to be the 1 seed, but there still could be some movement between 2 through 6 and 7 at this point. Heck, 8 too. So
that Michigan team's good though.
They are, and I hate to say that.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got to take our final break here for the second quarter. Then we're going to be at halftime already. So we'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Looking for reliable auto service in the Chippewa Valley? Well, you've got a couple options, and they're right here in Eau Claire with 2 convenient locations. AJM Automotive makes it easy to get the care your vehicle deserves, whether it's routine maintenance, brake work, engine repairs, or maybe a new set of tires. Friendly experts, honest advice, quality service that gets you back on the road safely. Check out their website, ajmautomotiveservices.com, for everything you need, like locations and making online appointments. And don't forget to check out their Facebook page. Follow and like the AJM Automotive's Facebook page as well. AJM Automotive, dependable service, done right here in Eau Claire. We got about 8 minutes left to the top of the hour. Don't forget, it is a Takeover Thursday, so send on over some of the topics you would like to hit. We got a couple of them that we'll get to in the next hour, so continue to send those on over. We'll get back to some more baseball talk, as well as the Brewers will be back at it today. Will not be on the radio, but they'll be taking on the Rangers with 1 month to go. The countdown is on. 1 month left to go until it is opening day. What is maybe the biggest question that you have for this Brewers team, biggest concern that you have for this Brewers team with just 1 month left to go? You can let us know. Give us your thoughts on that. Bucks picking up a victory last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah, they were shorthanded, but still. Bucks picking up a nice win against a team that's kind of had their number the last couple of years here too. So Bucks 8-2 in their last 10 games. They are now just 1 game behind the Charlotte Hornets for that final play-in spot. They are 1.5 back from Atlanta, and they've got Atlanta coming up on the schedule here too. So you look at this Bucks team, and Kevin Porter Jr. having himself a night last night. It was full-on team basketball. It felt like last night. Be another tough one for the Bucks with the Knicks coming to town here, but we've been talking about this portion of the schedule and kind of talking about this is maybe a make or break portion of the schedule for the Bucks here. Well, after the All-Star break, they're 3-4. They're 1 lone loss coming against Toronto. They've got this game against the Knicks tomorrow. Then they head to Chicago on Sunday. You got to win that one. Then you got a tough matchup against Boston on Monday. And then I would say a really crucial matchup against Atlanta next Wednesday, because that's a team you're chasing, in the standings. The Jazz, you should win that one. Got Orlando, a playoff team. Phoenix, a playoff team too. So it's crunch time, but give the Bucks credit to where credit's due, right? They've been winning these games 3-4 since the All-Star break.
Yeah, it's been impressive to watch how they've played. Their defense has still been a little sketchy at times, but their offense, they're knocking down their three-pointers finally, and so when A.J. Green's 5 of 10 and Kyle Kuzma's 5 of 10, good things are going to happen.
Kevin Porter Jr. is making himself some money for this offseason, and I don't know what the plans are going to be. I'd love to have him back in Milwaukee and such, but you look at his contracts, he does have a player option for this upcoming offseason, and I would have to imagine he is going to take that option and try to hit free agency and cash in here at this point. I would love it if he could stay in Milwaukee, if Milwaukee keep him around, because let's pair up him and Ryan Rollins for a couple of years, and let's that's why I want to see Giannis back here sooner rather than later, to see if this is something that could fit with those three, with Kevin Porter Jr., Ryan Rollins, and Giannis. I think Miles Turner has been, and I know he had a good game last night, but for the most part, kind of a disappointment, this year. And I know he's not always been the biggest scorer throughout his career and such, but maybe I just had too high of an expectation for him. But I've been fairly disappointed with Miles Turner so far this year.
I think Turner ends up getting traded this offseason. We'll see with Giannis. His outcome probably affects a lot of the decisions the team makes with Kevin Porter Jr. Ryan Rollins could use an extension if he's good, or if he's good, if they want to. So I think the offseason's kind of centered around Giannis until we figure out if he's going to stay. It's just a waiting game.
Yeah, it's kind of the trickle-down effect with that. So, but It should be a good one tomorrow with and the Knicks. I mean, yeah, they're a good team. They're a really good team, but 500 record on the road. So maybe that's an opportunity for the Bucks to kind of take advantage of that. So we'll see. But if you look at where the standings right now, Detroit's still number 1. They're really in control here. Boston's 2. Knicks are in the 3rd seed. You got the Cavs as a 4 seed after that loss. Toronto, Philly, those are your top 6. And then your play-in teams are Orlando and Miami, and then Atlanta and Charlotte. I feel like the Bucks are, if they do get into this thing, they're going to be a 9 or a 10 seed. I don't think that they're going to be able to catch up and maybe get an 8 seed. I know they're 4 games behind Miami for that. Never say never, I guess. You're right. Never say never, but it's that would be a tough task to get here. So, and that's the thing too with the Bulls coming up. The Bulls have lost 10 in a row, for crying out loud. You cannot lose that game. You can't. There's no way. So
I didn't know the Raptors were that good.
yeah, they're solid, dude. They got a couple, Ingram and such over there. R.J. Barrett and that, but
Scotty Barnes, yeah,
Scotty Barnes too. So I think the Celtics are probably the team that are surprising a lot of people this year for how well they are playing because Tatum hasn't played. Yes, they have Jaylen Brown, but remember they traded Drew Holiday, they traded Porzingis. It kind of felt like this was going to be maybe not a reset year, but a little bit of an off year. They've been doing their typical thing, which is just frustrating probably for a lot of people too. So, but I feel like the Bucks could be, again, maybe this is optimistic thinking, but if they get into the postseason somehow and they're healthy, what makes it a little bit sketchy if they are that 9 and 10, it's do or die. It's one game, So that's what makes me nervous. But if they could somehow get into a playoff series, maybe they could be an upset special.
And they could end up playing the Heat, which is never good in the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, less than a minute until the shot clock cuts us off, and then we're going to be at halftime. So we'll talk some more baseball coming up in the next hour. We got more football talk as well with Combine going on. It's the Underwear Olympics. We'll officially start today with on-field workouts and that. So we'll chat a little bit about that with Packers related and such. So get to that. Also, we will do we'll get back to some more maybe with Badger Chat coming up a little bit later on. We got Jake Bulks coming up at the bottom of the hour. So second to last call for your hunting, fishing related questions. Please text those on over so we can get those to Jake. 2 in, 2 more to go. We are at halftime. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back after these news updates. All right. Third quarter, third hour, kicking off right now. Thanks for hanging out with us on this final Thursday of the month of February. Whether you're listening on the radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM, or checking us out online, sportstalk1051.com. You got the video stream, you've got the app, all that good stuff, Alexa devices, Google devices. Coming up in about 25, 27 minutes, we'll catch up with Jake Bilks, DNR Warden for the great state of Wisconsin. Send over your questions right now. Hit us up, 715-830-1912. Text it on over so we can forward those on to Jake. So he'll be joining us for our usual Tailgate Outdoors, brought to you by our good friends from Tilden Gun. We'll get back to some hoops chat. Bucks picking up a win last night. Badgers, ugly loss last night. So we'll talk a little football here as well. Brewers had a nice day yesterday. Bryce Turang, couple of home runs, including a grand slam. So baseball-wise, I want to get kind of a feel from our listeners and from everybody out there. What's your thoughts on the ABS system, the automatic ball strike system that we are going to be seeing? And obviously we saw a little bit of it last year in the minor leagues. We were seeing it more this year. There was an interesting article from MLB.com, and it's a lot of data stuff, but it breaks it down like 10 different things we've learned so far from the challenge system. And I'll just kind of go through what they kind of caught. I'm not going to read everything here because it is a little bit of a read here. But number one, it said it's 50-50 overall, but fielders are better at challenging than batters. In this case, it's the catcher or pitcher, which honestly kind of makes sense, right? Because you'd think it makes sense. The pitcher's looking right at it. The catcher's right there, whereas the hitter, you're kind of off to the side. So it kind of makes sense. Relatively few pitches get challenged. It says here, if you're worried this is going to take over the game, don't be. Last year in AAA, there were just over 861,000 pitches on them. There were 9,432 challenges, which means that slightly more than 1% of all pitches resulted in a challenge. Challenges really do get saved for the end because there's that, you only get a certain amount and that sort of thing. But the data shows there are more overturns when challenges are earlier in the game. Batters care more about avoiding strikeouts than fielders do about avoiding walks. Kind of an interesting one there. There's enough of a spread that they expect to see real skill in this. That was number 5. Number 6, framing is still going to matter. 7, do different positions challenge better? This one was kind of interesting. So they broke it down catcher all the way, through DH. And the position that had the best challenge rate was shortstop. Shortstops challenged it better at a 51% success rate. The one that was the worst is literally what their job is to do is hit. DHs were the worst, 41%. So right fielders and second baseman had the second highest, 46%. Catchers towards the bottom two at 43%. So kind of an interesting, don't know if there's anything there, but kind of an interesting little nugget. So, and just, they really broke it down to, did taller or shorter batters do better or worse in challenges? It says here, this more than anything, maybe this affects the Brewers too because of,
yeah.
But it says here, this more than anything is what Yankees fans are dying to know. Did Aaron Judge, 6'7", face a more difficult zone than other hitters simply because umpires don't often see a zone that tall? Austin Wells, who is the Yankees catcher, said he has one of the most miscalled zones in baseball. Being so tall, he's getting calls below his knees all the time. It says here, that's mostly true. However, the focus on Judge dealing with unearned strike calls down low partially obscures that he was able to get away with unearned ball calls up high. Those, at least partially, though not fully, made up for his losses down low. So, challenge success rates 2025 AAA batters. Short, 5'9" or under, 50%. Medium, 5'10" to 6'2", 44%. Tall, 6'3" or higher, 44%. Brewers, you're in a good spot if you want to challenge. So, but yeah, that's kind of about it. It's just kind of the breakdown and such. What are your thoughts on the ABS system?
I don't mind it. I think I never want robo umps, as they call them. I never want that. I like regular umps in the game. I don't necessarily see, the hard part is I want the pitches that are called bad that are obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was one last year where, like, I think it was a Woodruff. They missed a right down the middle call, and the next pitch was a home run.
Yeah.
And it would have been a strikeout, and it was like, well, that was right down the middle. That needs to be a strike. So I like that aspect. But yesterday, listening, somebody challenged a call, and they were wrong by, like, I think it was 0.02 whatever centimeters or something.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
That, like, I don't like that part.
I don't like that. Yeah. Yeah.
The ump is good at his job. Like, you have to be good to get there. So, like, challenge the obvious ones, yeah, but I don't know. It's a hard aspect to it.
Yeah, that's the one. It's like, oh, on one hand, it's like, oh man, I like how they do the replay, like tennis.
Yeah.
Where it's like in, out sort of thing. And I'm glad it's instant that way. But you're right. Because then people are going to knock those umpires if it's like 0.1 of an inch. I'm like, really? Really?
Yeah.
You know, that's ridiculous. There was one that I think it was the Brewers game I was watching just earlier this week. And there was one. It was the Padres. It was the Padres game. Brewers and Padres. There was one that was down the middle. And they called ball. And they challenged it. And when they did the replay, I mean, it was like almost practically in the middle. And because it was Tony Gwynn Jr. was one of the color commentators on that, or the analysts on there. And he's like, you know, if that happens in the regular season, the ump's going to hear it.
Yeah.
Because that was a bad one. And I'm not quite sure how they missed that. And that's the thing, though, too. It's like that's part of the human element of the game, right? I'm intrigued with it. I like parts of it. I don't like other parts of it. Like, I'm not like, oh, this is the greatest thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like the fact that managers can't do it.
Yeah.
That they can't challenge. It puts the pressure on the batter, the catcher, or the pitcher to do that, and not necessarily early on. You got to figure out, okay, is it worth to challenge it here? I like that it's not unlimited. So there's parts of it I like. There's other parts where it's like, does it take away from the game of baseball?
I feel like umps are going to get unneeded criticism just out of it. Because, like you said, 0.01, and all of a sudden they're wrong now, and they get flack for it. But, again, those right down the middle calls have to be called. I do, like you said, I like that they lose them if they're wrong, and they only have a certain number. But it'll be interesting. I don't hate it. I'm excited to see it. I just want to kind of feel it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, the thing is, we know what's going to happen. There's going to be a challenge that's going to affect the game, and it's going to annoy people.
Yeah.
Like, it could change the outcome of a game. It's going to upset some people. Like, why are we letting it, it's going to happen. Nobody is 100% going to agree on this, right? It's going to be the way. And the other part of it is, as fans, we're going to love it at times because it's going to help our team, and then we're going to get pissed.
Yep.
So some of the other teams, like on those 0.1 of an inch, right? If it's bottom of the ninth, 3-2 count, and let's say bases loaded, they call it a strike. Game's over. They challenge. They do the replay. It's off by 0.1. That tying run walks in then. We as fans that are going to be pissed, right? But then if we're on the opposite side, we're like, oh, yeah. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yes, both sides are going to get some.
Exactly. So
the loser's the umps, like, honestly, because usually these umps are good, and they're just going to be wrong a lot more. So
And the thing is like, I'd be curious to hear from an MLB ump their thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Like, are they good with it? Does it take away? Do they annoy like, oh, that just kind of embarrasses us, or it takes away from what we do? Like, what does the majority of baseball umps feel with this system?
I think it's got to be a little of both. Because like the .1, if you call it a ball and it's .1 outside the zone, what an eye you have for an ump. Like,
right.
Great job. But then right down the middle, like, you're awful.
Mm-hmm.
Just be better. So both sides. There's a little bit of both to it.
Because I know online during games, and I see this quite a bit, they will put up graphics how well the home plate ump did, percentage-wise and such. And if we are nitpicking and all that, how is that going to affect, grading and all that sort of stuff too. So, yeah, I'd be really curious to hear from an MLB official or MLB umpire, excuse me, and just kind of like, what are your thoughts on this? Kind of like the same with maybe an NFL official. Do you like all the replays? Do you want more replays? Do you feel like it makes your job easier? Do you feel like, man, I don't want to be embarrassed if I get something wrong, sort of thing? I don't know. But Key, you can send us your thoughts. I'll probably make that a poll question later on tonight too on Sports Talk. So, all right, let's take a quick break. Plenty more to get to though. We'll be right back after these quick words. When it comes to fresh, convenient, and delicious, Hy-Vee at Eau Claire has you covered. From farm fresh produce and premium meats to bakery favorites and ready-to-go meals, everything you need is under one roof. Planning dinner tonight, maybe grabbing some lunch on the run, or stocking up for the week? Hy-Vee makes it simple. A store that feels like your neighborhood market, just a bit bigger. Plus, with daily, weekly deals and seasonal specials, there is always something new to discover. Hy-Vee at Eau Claire, where there is a helpful smile in every aisle. All right, final call for any questions for our DNR warden buddy, Mr. Jake Boakes, who will be joining us in about 10 minutes or so. We'll get back to some more baseball talk. The ABS thing is definitely a hot button issue for a lot of people out there. But we'll get back to some more baseball talk coming up here momentarily. But football-wise, we've got combine stuff going on, the on-the-field workouts, the 40-yard dash and such. We should have, you know what, if I was thinking ahead, we should have made intern Carter compete in the combine drills in honor of the combine. We should have had you doing, hey, a few years ago, I did the 40 at the parking lot across the street. It sucked. And that was a few years ago. It would suck more right now, me trying to do that. So, I mean... log jump, all
no
that
bench
stuff.
press.
No bench press?
No, let's just not.
I'm too old to do any of that right now. So, but that is just, you look at some of those guys, and like when I did it a few years ago, I'm not even going to reveal what my 40 was because it's embarrassing. And then you look at a 300-plus pound lineman run faster than you. That's a scary thought.
Mm-hmm.
That's a scary thought to think about. That 6'4", 300-pound lineman runs faster than me, so I can't even run away from that guy. Like, I feel like I'm tall and skinny, I'm 6'2". Give me a football and I can run. Nope, can't run away from, like Micah Parsons or somebody like that. Ain't happening. No, sirree. These guys are not human.
No.
They are freak machines and athletes, athletic specimens. So, I do get curious with the 40 just to see what speeds are. I like when they do the overlaps. I don't know if you see that once in a while, the overlap from an old one just to kind of see it and compare it. And it's like, I can't even imagine running that fast. I can't. I just, that's insane. So, but also the starting block and some of those guys, like I'd be nervous.
Yeah.
I'd fall on my face, coming on a starting block sort of thing. So.
Well, it's like the minute you move, the clock starts. So
I know.
You better be good to start or else it's going to be slow.
Like I did 1 year of track just to get a 3-sport award, and it was not good. Like I had no business doing track in 8th grade, but that was the only spring sport that was available for boys, and so I did it, and I was not good. I remember my first event. They put me in some sort of, I think it was a 200 meter, and yeah, you had to go in a starting block. What did I do? I slipped. And then they put me in hurdles because they thought I was tall and I could do it. Yeah, I sucked at that too. Those
are dangerous.
They are.
I do not want to do hurdles.
They're awful, man. They're awful. So it sucked. It sucked. And credit to everybody who could do track and field and all that. I can't. It hurts to even think about to this day. So, but I think this might be a little bit of a hot take. I do think the NFL Combine is overrated in some aspects. I think, team-wise, they probably get more out of it. I think they use that as an opportunity. Obviously, I think medicals are a big one. Checking up on medical history and that. Interviews with players. There's a lot of this first time maybe for some of these front offices, scouts, GMs to interview their prospects. And it's not to say that I don't take anything away from, or they don't take anything away from the drills and all that sort of stuff. But I think the on-the-field stuff does tend to get overrated because if you are using that as like a big basis of whether you are going to draft a guy or not, then I don't think you were doing your job when they were actually playing football.
Yeah.
Now that's not to say that doesn't boost people's stocks. Obviously the 40 has, we've seen that, speed-wise and such. And I think it can help draft a stock, or it might solidify their positioning. But I think in terms of the workouts, it gets a little overrated, maybe from a fan perspective.
I think some of it, too, is just general managers talking to agents.
Yeah,
of
that's the other
free
one.
agents.
Well, we heard Rob say that last week, right?
Yeah, because it's like we got to be in the know, kind of like Malik Willis. What's he going to get paid? I'm sure the Dolphins, I'm sure the Cardinals, the Browns are all talking to his agent this week.
Yep.
And it's not even related to the draft.
Right.
So it's just for pure football players, for pure football people.
It's almost like a open house sort of, or like a home show sort of thing. Yeah, and a lot of the stuff is happening probably at the restaurants or the bars afterwards and such. So it's, I know I'm probably in the minority on that for some, but I tend to think the combine does get a little overrated.
Every once in a while, you'll get Xavier Worthy breaking the record, or Nick Emanori getting his draft stock rising just because of the combine, but it doesn't happen a lot.
No. But there's good aspects of it. It's just the other aspects of like, do we really need this?
Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
I mean, what else are we going to do, though, this week?
That's right. You gotta pump it up.
Yes.
So I think that one of the biggest complaints that I think a lot of people have had with the combine, just from a fan perspective, is they want to see more football-related drills.
Mm-hmm.
So if that were the case, what would be like a football? A lot of people say run with the pads on, or you'll hear the phrase football speed. He's got good straight line speed with, tight Under Armour stuff on. But what about with pads? And, not everything is all straight line speed. They want more football specific type of things, which I wouldn't be opposed to, but at the same time, they're not going to put a drill out there where they're going to say, okay, show us how you could tackle a player.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that, and then somebody gets hurt at the combine.
But even for quarterbacks, I was watching a video on Good Morning Football the other day. They were like, just put 2 cans in the corner and have them, garbage cans, and have them throw in them.
Yeah.
Because a fade is a big play in the NFL nowadays, and if they can't throw that, they're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So even that aspect of the game where quarterbacks are just throwing to receivers, and receivers can make your quarterback look good, but you're throwing to a non-moving target there.
Since we're talking about ABS and technology and that, one thing that the last few years we've heard teams kind of employ and quarterbacks kind of employ a little bit in their training, virtual reality. Are we going to get to a point where the combine, maybe you're a quarterback, all right, we want to see how you handle pressure. Virtual reality, all right, you're lined up against, a really good defense and such. This is what they present. This is the look. Show us what you're going to check out of, your audible, that sort of stuff.
Wow. Now we're getting deep.
I know.
That would be
crazy.
I mean,
is it completely out of the realm, though?
No.
I'm honestly kind of surprised. Maybe they already kind of do something like that, but, from a combine standpoint, wouldn't you kind of want to see a quarterback maybe kind of be put in that position? Yeah. Put on the virtual reality and go up against the Seattle Seahawks defense in the Super Bowl. It's a 2-minute warning situation. You're down 5 with no timeouts. Go. We want to see how you handle that.
Although, I mean, I may be good at that, Madden, just coming back. But no, just real world experiences, trying the pressure. But that would be interesting. I wonder if they will ever do that.
Because I think it would probably work mostly for a quarterback, right? Or maybe you could do it if you're a defensive signal caller, like an inside middle linebacker. Okay, this is what, Jordan Love, and this is what the offense is showing. How do you, get your guys in position to match up and such?
Even like defensive back, like don't jump the slant or like something. Yeah, read the route. Wow. Mm-hmm. That would be interesting.
Maybe I should start that so I can make cash on that, and then I can retire early on.
I mean,
so
even hiring coaches, you could do that. Like, what scheme are you running? Will it work? Like, wow.
Yeah, because I know, like, the last couple of years we've seen quarterbacks kind of do that. I think it was Jalen Hurts was doing that. Maybe the Eagles were doing something like that at practice. I feel like Jalen Hurts was one. But I've seen it before. But, yeah, I would not be shocked if in the next 5-10 years that's a part of the combine, like quarterback drills. And, yeah, you're going to get the people say, well, that's not accurate. That's not. But still, a lot of the stuff, again, quarterback running a straight line 40 is not football specific either. You know, it's not like, I wouldn't be surprised. Not at all. So, kind of interesting. Other than that, I mean, for the Packers side of things, Goody talked the other day, and I think this is kind of my enough is enough for our Thursday segment. I think his words are getting spun a little bit because people are now turning it, the whole Rashawn Gary thing. Because people, I think, are saying, well, now Goody's maybe sounding like Rashawn Gary's coming back in that. But if you read the whole quote, he said, like, if he's back, we'll see. And people are like just kind of taking those words, and there's blogs and there's articles like, ooh, it sounds like Gary's going to be back next year. I'm like, guys, enough is enough. I didn't get that impression. No. And let's be real too. I don't think there's any way Rashawn Gary is back unless there is a huge adjustment on his contract. You can't bring him back as a top 10 cap hit, top 5 cap hit on this team with the production that you're getting. And a question I kind of threw out yesterday, would the mindset, because I think a lot of Packers fans, we did a poll, said, do you want the Packers to move on from Rashawn Gary? I think it would be a resounding yes. But if it at least showed that Gary was hustling and maybe snap counts were up there and such, does that perception change a little bit? Because I think that's the biggest knock on Gary is that, well, he doesn't play a lot. He plays like half, maybe 60% of the snaps. There's a lot of times where it looks like he's kind of given up on plays. And I hate saying that because we're not behind the scenes and, we're judging that on TV. But if that perception was different, then our Packers fans' feelings different towards Rashawn Gary.
I think a little bit. I do think, though, that's a fair perception. Just watching a bona fide superstar, Micah Parsons, his first sack, he ran all the way across the field to get Jared Goff. Yep. I've never seen Rashawn Gary do that. Yeah. Maybe in his first couple years, but that's not Gary. If he doesn't get there, it almost looks like he gives up.
Yep.
And Micah Parsons will run 20 yards downfield to get a tackle. That's just a mindset difference. Mm-hmm. And so when you're paying a guy that much, I know one of the conversations on the radio I heard yesterday was, would you rather have Enoch Barre or Gary? I don't know. Probably Enoch Barre.
Yeah.
Just because he's going to hustle more.
Yeah. We threw out that as a scenario yesterday was there was like 4 of them that I put out there. 1, you bring back Rashawn Gary, status quo. 2, you move on from him, but you bring back Enoch Barre. 3, you move on from both of them and you go with Lucas Van Ness and Colin Oliver and Barron Sorrell. 4, you move on from both of them and bring somebody else in like a Bradley Chubb or somebody a little bit further down the line. I don't know. Enoch Barre is going to get a pay raise.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be with Green Bay or such, but Enoch Barre was getting more. I was looking at the snap counts yesterday. He was getting more snap counts after Micah Parsons went out. You'd think Rashawn Gary's snap counts would go up. Enoch Barre was getting more than Rashawn Gary after Micah Parsons was hurt.
And we're paying him all that money. So
yeah, it's been a disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
It really has been. And is it an effort issue? Which, I hate saying, but it's hard because I know I said it during season 2, and I always get nervous making assumptions just based off one camera angle and TV angle, but there would seem to be a lot of times where, Gary would be going head tap for the sub.
And I think a lot of people kind of blew his first 8 games out of proportion when he was leading the sacks because, in my opinion, a lot of those sacks, and some weren't, but a lot of them were Parsons getting around the edge, the quarterback stepping right into Gary.
And that's what we were expecting, right? That's what was like, okay, Mike is going to open up the door for Rashawn Gary and all, and it was. And then it's like, well, now why isn't it happening?
Yeah,
sort of thing.
And he can do better than he was. Like you said, the snap count. I mean, J.J. Enagbari should not be playing more than Rashawn Gary.
Right.
Just due to the contract.
Right.
So when he is, that's a problem.
Yep. All right, we got to take a break because we got to get to Jake here, but plenty more to get to. Stick around. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Time to get to our outdoor chat, catching up with our good buddy, Mr. Jake Boakes, DNR Warden for the great state of Wisconsin. So let's say good morning to Jake. Jake, good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Not bad, man. Not bad. So we're getting ready to wrap up this month of February, and it seems like we got some deadlines coming up here, specifically maybe too with the ice shanties, right? Are we getting close to that deadline?
We are. Yeah, it's. I think we say it every year and whatnot, but it's crazy when you really start that transition from winter to spring and it's really upon you. So, yep, the ice shanty deadline for this area comes into effect not this weekend, but next weekend. So the rule is, or the law is, it's always the first Sunday after March 1st. And ironically, this year, March 1st is the Sunday, the first Sunday of the month, but it's the Sunday after it. So it'll be March 8th this year where all the permanent shacks have to get off.
Gotcha. All right. So was there, with the warmer weather and such, did you perhaps see maybe some people already getting an early jump on that and such?
Oh,
or,
yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I would say most lakes around here, people wisely, especially, if you got a big heavy-duty truck with a big heavy-duty shack, got those off. Because it's not the ice in the middle of the lake that's the problem. It's the shorelines. It's the boat launches, your access points on and off. So I would say most of the permanent shacks were already removed. For the fishing tournament last weekend, plenty of people brought them out for the night, but plenty of people brought them right back off. So I think most people are in a good spot. But if you haven't, it's going to be 41, 51 the next couple of days. The landings won't be great, but at least it'll be a warm time to pull it off if you want to get them off the next couple of days.
Jake, speaking of like deadlines and maybe end of the season such, I had seen Facebook posts, talking about just a couple days left for those northern walleye and bass and such. So are we approaching that deadline too for this fishing season?
Yeah, we're kind of hitting that spring protection time frame where a lot of the game fish seasons close. So it'll be important to really dive into the rigs here in the next couple months, and if you're going fishing, to make sure where you're fishing is legal or open. So in this area, well, I guess generally statewide, the northern bass, like the keeping of bass, if you keep bass, northern bass, muskie, walleye, all that stuff's going to close down after this weekend. So you got one more weekend on the inland lakes to fish that. So if you fish up in Chippewa County, Clark, Hayward area, northern Wisconsin, I would definitely get out and go ice fish one more time this weekend. There are areas in the state that have like a continuous season, which includes the Mississippi and the Chippewa River here. So on the Chippewa right here in town, you can actually continue to fish for northern and walleye year-round. So the season doesn't necessarily close. Same with the Mississippi. So the regulations may be a little different depending on the area you're at, the pool you're in. But there is still opportunity if you want to open water fish in this early spring, late winter.
All right. So, yeah, probably a good reminder there as well, too. And could people start, is it March 1st? Or no, it's March, is the new license for 2026, I guess. What is it, the end of March? Or
So you can start buying your licenses March 1st.
Okay.
For the next year. But the licenses you have are good through next month. So April 1st is when you have to get a new fishing license. But you can preemptively buy it. I know a lot of people buy their patron's license when they buy their turkey stuff in a couple weeks, which I will be one of those folks. So if you know you're going to buy a patron's license and you do turkey hunting, you might as well just buy everything now, get it done. That way, come deer season in the fall, you buy your stuff all the way back in March and April of this year.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I'm glad you met. I was literally just looking up when those turkey bonus tags go on sale and such, and that's going to be here before you know it too, because that starts, Zone 1 goes on sale starting March 16th that week. So, and yeah, they've got the updated listings of what's available and such too.
Yeah, no, some zones have no bonus tags. Some have them in the C zone, having the C season, but most of them you're looking at the D or fourth season onward for extra tags. So, turkey hunting, not only in Wisconsin, I was talking with some other wardens and people recently about it. Turkey hunting has just boomed in the last decade. I mean, the turkey population obviously has been extremely high, but the pressure, the excitement, the fun, the hunt has just been a lot more everywhere. So more tags are getting sold, which means less over-the-counter tags for people not only in Wisconsin but other states. So it's definitely something you want to, just like deer or sturgeon season, you want to preemptively get ready and make sure you got your tags and licenses and permits in and all that kind of stuff.
Jake, we did have a question from a texter, don't have a name, but they said, or they asked if you knew if there was going to be anything different with walleye and the Sager limit on Lake Pepin for this year.
Yeah, so for walleyes and saugers, depending on rivers, lakes, parts of the state, if it's a trophy fishery or not, I mean, it can change each year. The Mississippi River system generally doesn't change from year to year unless, they've worked something out with like Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, because they kind of work together on enforcing those regs and working those populations down there. But to answer the question is, I don't know. So I don't cover that area. My team doesn't cover that area down in Lake Pepin. That would be, some of my coworkers down there. So the best answer I have would either be, the best answer would be to jump into the regulations, take a look. The first, the first pages, it's usually page 2 or 3 or 4, always says what's new. And it'll address if there's any regulation changes in different areas and stuff. Otherwise, go to the general inland regs and go to Pepin County and see if there's any special regulations in the pamphlet. If you have trouble navigating the pamphlet or the regulation book, then just, call our 1-800-DNR info line, and the men and women that work our customer service line will be able to help you.
I know it's something that we usually talk about when we get ready for opening fishing and such, and, we'll probably hit it up again when we get to opening fishing, but fishing in the summer especially too, it's one of those where you really need to pay attention to those regulations, right? Because there's so many different bodies of water that have so many different regulations with it. Yeah,
100%. That's, some people like that, some people don't. And at the end of the day, fisheries, they do their best to manage the fishery in the best way to promote the most fish, the biggest fish, the most opportunity for anglers. And to be honest, a lot of the reason for all these different regulations is because that's what the public wants. People on their lake, want a trophy muskie fishery. They want a trophy walleye. They want trophy panfish. They want more. They want less of this. So, it's not necessarily the DNR or even the legislator when it comes to a lot of that. A lot of that is because that's what the public wants. That's what the fishermen want. So it's important that when you do go across the state fishing, that you open up that regulations book and look at whatever specific, lake you're on. If you're on a lake called, Acorn Lake up in Burnett County, and you've never fished there before, you don't know. I mean, they could have a closed fishery for all you know. So you definitely want to open up that regulation pamphlet.
Right. Jake, before we let you go, because I know you're on the way to doing your job and such, anything else that you want to hit up before we let you get back to work?
I guess the just on the top of my mind from this last weekend, working the Lake Altoona ice fishing tournament for a while is a couple reminders to fishermen is that, one, don't leave your lines unattended. We had a lot of people leaving their lines unattended overnight, and, we dealt with that. It's not fair to the fish because they're going to die no matter what when no one's around to check that thing for hours at a time, but it's also not fair to the other fishermen. I talked to a ton of really great ethical fishermen throughout this weekend, grandpas with their grandsons fishing overnight, staying awake, working hard to put fish on the board. And when people leave lines out and cheat, basically, it's very frustrating, not only to us as wardens, because it's a violation, but it's also frustrating to the people trying to do it right. So just a reminder to, hold each other accountable. And if you see something, obviously give us a call. But the other thing is we saw a ton of unlabeled ice shacks, not only pop-ups but permanent ones too. So it's just a reminder to everyone that if you do go out ice fishing, you don't have to label your shacks when you're with them. But if you're going to leave pop-up shacks out, permanent shacks out overnight, they have to have your name and either customer ID number on it, phone number on it, address on it, something that we can get a hold of you. There was easily over a dozen unoccupied, unlabeled pop-up shacks, good pop-up clams, insulated $6,000-$8,000, shacks that technically we could have seized and taken and written citations on it. We could have followed up. We're using our discretion on stuff like that. So we didn't, but it causes a lot of issues when they start blowing around. It causes issues when people don't come and pick them up. And frankly, the law is a law for a reason. And I would hate to see it go to something where, like Minnesota, where you have to pay to put to put a shack out on the ice. Like, I don't like doing that in Minnesota, but you'd have to do that there. So just a reminder to make sure to label all your shacks when you're out there.
Good tip. He's Jake Boakes, Conservation Warden for the great state of Wisconsin. Appreciate the time as always, buddy. Be safe out there, and we'll chat with you again next week, okay?
Yeah, enjoy the weekend. We'll talk soon.
You got it. There you go. There's Jake Boakes again joining us here this morning, answering your questions. Don't forget to always text us those questions if you ever have one for Jake. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with plenty more coming up after these quick words. Hunting season will be here before you know it, and that preparation starts now. At Tilden Gun, they know serious hunters don't wait until opening day to get ready. Whether you're gearing up for the upcoming spring turkey season or planning ahead for fall, now is the time to make sure your equipment is dialed in. From shotguns and rifles to optics, ammunition, and must-have accessories, Tilden Gun has the selection and expertise to help you step into the woods with confidence. Maybe it's time to upgrade your setup. Maybe it's time to sight in that new optic. Or maybe it's just time to stock up so you're not scrambling later. Turkey season demands precision, patience, and preparation. Stop on in to Tilden Gun and talk with the people who understand the hunt because they live it too. Tilden Gun, get ready now so you're ready when it matters the most. Hey, we got a trade in the NFL. It doesn't affect the Packers, but we got a trade. The Titans are trading nose tackle Devondre Sweat to the Jets for Jermaine Johnson, defensive end Jermaine Johnson. So, which, if you kind of know, Robert Saleh, former head coach of the Jets, bringing in somebody that he worked with, former first-round pick with the Jets too, going to the Titans. So maybe one of just many that are about to kind of happen before the new league year here. So, okay. Rob Domofsky we got a couple more things now. Rob Domofsky, our good buddy who we just had on a week ago today. Cardinals assistant special teams coach Sam Sewell is headed to Green Bay today to interview in person for the Packers special teams coordinator job. He was one of several candidates who had preliminary interviews. Final interviews expected to take place this week. So there's the first, I think, reported one that I have seen out there that getting a second interview. So it sounds like maybe by next week we'll find out who the new Packers special teams coordinator is.
Good luck.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's right. So, Sewell, in case you're wondering just a little bit here, obviously a Jonathan Gannon connection, but assistant special teams coordinator with the Cardinals for 3 years. He came to Arizona from Eastern Michigan, where he coached running backs for 4 years and added the title of special teams coordinator in 2022. So for anybody who probably is looking at experience or resumes, probably not the most vast, experience-wise and such, but good luck. It's so hard to gauge special teams coordinators and such. I mean, we know a few of them, but I mean, it's really hard to know what I'd like to know a good reason why teams don't employ more, like, let's get a kicking coach, and then we got a special teams coordinator sort of thing. I don't know. Maybe I feel like that's just an easy thing, but I'm probably making too much of it. But
honestly, you kind of hope your special teams coordinator is irrelevant.
You'd think so. So, but yeah, it kind of seems like it'll be by the time next week we'll know who that special teams coordinator is, and then maybe we'll finally get the whole entire coaching roster kind of settled and such. So, all right, shot clock's going to cut me off in less than a minute. We'll talk some more football coming up just past the top of the hour. We've got more baseball talk as well. Bryce Turang showing the power, feeling the power yesterday. Hoops-wise, Bucks picking up a nice win. Badgers dunk it up in Oregon. So send us some other topics that you would like to discuss with us. It's a Takeover Thursday. You can send those on over. Hit us up with a quick message on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line at 715-830-1912. All right, we want to hear from you. Also, if you have any more enough's enough, you can send those here too. Final quarter. We're flying through on this Thursday morning. Flying through. All right, there's your shot clock. We got some news updates, and we'll be right back in just a couple minutes. All right, it is the final quarter, the final hour, kicking off right now. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning, depending on where you're listening to us for. We're going to get back to some more baseball talk coming up here in just a little bit. So we'll get back to some more hoops chat as well. Bucks picking up a nice win last night. Badgers stunk it up. Brewers will be back at it today. That game, again, will not be on the radio, but they'll be taking on the Rangers. Next Brewers spring training game that you can hear up on the radio will be tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. I had to look at the schedule here. Yep, tomorrow against the White Sox. And then Saturday, there will be another one on the radio when they take on the Reds. So I want to talk a little more football here, just quick. I want to play a clip. I'm not gonna introduce it. I want just instant reaction. Intern doesn't even know what I'm gonna play here. I want instant reaction, the first word or the first phrase that comes out of your mouth after you listen to this, okay? Keep it clean, though. It is the radio, and we could get in trouble if you use naughty words and such. So I'm just going to play a clip, and I want I want your what comes to your mind first, your reaction, instant reaction to this. And maybe you already heard it, but who knows? All right, here we go.
I'm going to ask you a question the way Jerry Seinfeld would. What is the deal with the Packers?
Who likes the Packers?
How much of that is leaning fully into your job as Bears coach, and how much of it is how you truly feel?
The Bears and the Packers, they should not like each other. I think it's as simple as that. That's going to make this rivalry, this game, something that people are going to watch here going forward.
Have you talked to Matt LaFleur at all? Do you have any relationship with him? Have you heard from him? Has he called you up and he said, what's the deal? Like anything like that?
No, we don't talk.
Okay. Do you want it that way?
I'm good with it.
Has he tried to reach out to you?
No.
I'm going to ask you a question.
So there you go. That was from Pro Football Talk at the Combine. Obviously, that is Ben Johnson, Bears head coach. Your first reaction to it? Keep it clean, sir.
Rent-free.
Rent-free. Hey, that's a good one. I like that.
They cannot stop thinking about beating us. So congratulations on winning your playoff game, Bears fans. Maybe strive for higher next year.
Ooh, look at the youngster coming out after it. All right. It's just, I think it honestly is manufactured.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is manufactured. I think it is, we're to feed off, we're, in rent-free and sort of thing. The fact that it has been reported numerous times and talked about there that whenever a head coach interviews for the job in Chicago, it gets brought up about beating Green Bay and the rivalry in Green Bay. How many coaches have mentioned it in their opening pressers, for crying out loud? It is a thing. It is living rent-free in the Bears' ownership. We know that. I think Ben Johnson has taken it another step now and is manufacturing a lot of this. Do I honestly feel like he hates Matt LaFleur? I think he has told himself and he has trained himself to feel like that. Like, I don't think other than that, I don't think there's a personal vendetta. Like, I don't think Matt LaFleur, did anything to him to where like, oh, we're enemies for life. I think he has, it's kind of, and I'm not comparing the two, but it's kind of Michael Jordan-esque, where Michael Jordan would, tell himself stuff to motivate him when something never happened. Like if you watch have you ever watched The Last Dance on Netflix?
I have not.
Do it. Dedicate some time. There's a story where, I can't remember the player's name, but it was like a back-to-back game. I think it was the Cavs. And the Bulls lost that game or something like that. And there was a story that some player from the Cavs was like trash talking to Jordan and such. And, it was like the guy said, "Nice game, Mike." And Jordan like used that and fueled him. And apparently that was never even said. So like he like manufactured some things to like just get amped up and motivated. And he like dominated the next night. I feel like that's what Ben Johnson's doing with a lot of this stuff. Like, okay, we get it. You're the Bears coach. You're supposed to be a rivalry. And okay, it's cool. It's cute. But I think he has gotten to a point now where, yeah, he lives it. He's like living in this world now, and he's embracing that role. He's embracing the villain role with this thing.
I think it's mostly for the fans. Because if I go talk to Bears fans, and I have a friend who's a Bears fan, he loves it. And Why wouldn't you if you're a Bears fan, right? You haven't
You've gotten your butt
realistically,
whooped.
yeah, you haven't been able to cheer about anything for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they still haven't had a 4,000-yard passer in a long time, or ever. I don't remember that stat, but
I don't think they ever have,
yeah. And so it's like, what do we have to cheer about except beating the Packers in the wild card round? Like, honestly, and as a Packer fan, I hated it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can say we're in the same spot, but realistically, they beat us
Mm-hmm.
and they knocked us out. So good for the Bears, but eventually you got to move past it, right? Like Ben Johnson's not going to get anywhere keeping his eyes set on the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually you have to move, if you're a realistic Super Bowl team, to the Super Bowl. That's what the Packers are doing. The Bears got to, if they ever do, they have to take that next step.
Yeah, and if anything, I'll take it from a Packers side of things. Okay, yeah, this is being out there, but I'm sure LaFleur hears it, the teammates hear it, the team, all that stuff. So I mean, it is gonna. Does it add to the rivalry? Sure, it does. We all love a good rivalry. We hate losing to our rivalries because we are miserable about it. Because then your friends who happen to be, we question why we're friends with friends who are fans of rivals, right? We all have those friends that we're like, why are you my friend? Because then I got to deal with you for a week with, I'm joking. Okay. We all have it, but it's like, ugh, it adds to it. It's a part of sports. Does it get annoying? Sure. But that's the part of being with a sports. I feel like some of it is manufactured, and it's to the point now where he is living it. That like he has talked himself into it. He's ingrained into it so much that this is a part of him now. And all right, whatever. If that's what floats your boat, sure, go for it. And if that upsets Matt LaFleur or the Packers and it motivates them even more, good. Go for it. Use it that way.
I think next year when they play each other, the Packers should, in game one, just roll them.
Mm-hmm.
Because of all the material that the Bears have provided.
Yeah.
They should get up 18 and they should go put another 28 on them.
Yeah.
Just because. And I just mean the motivation's there. The Packers better not lose week one to the Bears or game one of the Bears because
honestly, it might
all
be
that's
week
been
one.
said.
Yeah.
It should be week one at the NFL.
I hope it's not though.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Micah's going to be back, and I want Micah for that game. So,
But
yeah, I think it's going to be week one.
There's
Packers,
so
Bears.
much billboard material. The Packers better be ready to play because just the handshake, the post games.
Well, and then the Bears say that Packers were talking so much during that week, and they heard about it, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, Tibby says intern nailed it. How long before he's called out before making Green Bay, Chicago about himself and not about the greater vision? So that. I'd love to hear from. I know we have a Bears fan, but I don't think he's going to chime in on this. But I'd love to hear, Bears fans. Is that a concern at this point, or not? From a Bears fans' perspective, focusing on Green Bay too much, or is that really not a thing? I don't know. I don't know what Bears fans are feeling in that aspect. So
I think it's also just hard for them. Like we said, they don't win. So to be winning, right? They won the division. And they're more focused on the Packers than the division they just won. It's just interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of seems like that at times too. So, but it's good for the rivalry. And yeah, when that schedule comes out, that is the thing that's worrying me a little bit. Is I do feel like the NFL would be smart to week one, Packers Bears. But I don't think Micah is going to be ready, and I want Micah for that game.
I do too. But you better beat him without Micah.
Yeah.
All this material you're getting, you better beat them without Micah.
You almost beat him without Micah.
Yeah.
You should have beaten him without Micah. So, I mean, come on now. So,
Should have beaten him without Jordan Love in the second half.
that's true.
In
That's
Chicago.
True. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, too. Where would the game be? I hope it's in Chicago for week one, to be honest with you. Just get it out of the way right away. And that way, I'd rather play late season in Green Bay than in Chicago because of wind.
Yeah.
The whole wind factor. I mean, we need any sort of advantage we can for special teams.
For kicking, yeah.
Yeah, we need any little thing that we can get our hand advantage on. So, but I saw that. I'm like, yeah. And then you could watch the video. You could kind of see like his facial expression. He's just, he's riling up two fan bases, and he's doing it on purpose. He knows what he's doing.
And it's February.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. See, he's got you riled up.
Yeah.
He's got you riled up. So, all right. Tell you what, let's take a quick break, and we'll talk some more hoops. We'll talk some more baseball and such. But for the rest of you, you hear that. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Does it pump you up? Does it annoy you? You're like, nah, whatever. Doesn't bother you. So, all right, we'll take a quick break. Plenty more to get to, though. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Tax season is here, and that refund check, well, hey, it's more than just extra spending money. It's an opportunity. This year, why not invest it right where you live? Upgrade your home with beautiful new flooring from Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. Whether you've been dreaming about warm, comfortable carpet, some durable luxury vinyl planks, or like the innovative Ridge & Max flooring, or waterproof options perfect for busy families, now's the time to make that happen. Your tax return can go a long way towards transforming the look and feel of your home. And at Carpet City Flooring Center, you'll find expert guidance, professional installation, and flooring options for every budget. Don't let that refund disappear on little things you won't remember next month. Put it towards something that you will see and enjoy every single day. Stop on in to Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire and turn your tax return into a home upgrade that you will love for years to come. Carpet City Flooring Center. Step into something better. All right. Brewers yesterday picking up a 13-12 victory over the Giants thanks to the home run ball of one Mr. Bryce Turang, including a grand salami from Bryce Turang, a guy that it has been fun to see the trajectory of him, the last couple of years continue to improve and improve and improve. Let me ask you this. What is more, if you had to wager a bet, all right, you had to put something on the table for this. What is most likely to happen? Or what would you bet is most likely to happen? Jackson Cheerio doing a 30-30 or Bryce Turang doing a 20-20?
Bryce Turang, 2020.
Bryce Turang, 20-20. Bryce Turang, 30-30 or Jackson Cheerio, 30-30?
Oh, that's a good one. How many home runs did Jackson Cheerio have last year?
Jackson, 20, was it? Because he did another 20-20. 21 home runs.
21 home runs.
And he was hurt.
Jackson Cheerio. I think he's more likely.
Yeah, he had the 30 walk, or that was 30 walks. Where's the stolen bases? He had 21. So, 21, 21, 21, 22. I feel like Turang's a better threat to steal bases.
I do too. I just don't know if he's going to get to 30 home runs.
Yeah. All right. What about the rest of you? Who's better? Who do you think is the better option? I feel like Cheerio's going to get the most, but Turang and his power has been getting up. I agree with you. I don't know if 30 is the number. Okay, what if we did this? Split the difference, 25-25.
I'd probably go Bryce Turang.
Yeah. I think I'd probably go Turang too, 25-25. I'm starting to, I think I'm guilty of this. I'm starting to put some maybe super high expectations on Bryce Turang this year. I'm a little bit worried about that.
What about a Yelich 25-25? He had 29 home runs last year.
He did have, not last year, but the years before, 28 stolen bases and 21.
It's been going down because he's getting older, but
he's still got some little pep in his step, though, too. I think what we've seen, too, with a lot, obviously the Brewers are aggressive in stealing bases, but the shift has really altered, the banning of the shift, where it's allowed people or players to steal more bases and such. I mean, you go back to that 2024 season where Yelich only played 73 games and he already had 21 stolen bases. So, and last year coming back from that back injury, I wonder if they were just a little more cautious with it too. So,
how about they all three go 30 for 30?
That would be okay. Then now we're talking here. So, more likely to happen: a Yelich 20-20, or a Cheerio 30-30, or a Turang 25-25. Now we're really getting into
now we're
this
getting
thing.
into
Now
it.
we're getting deep. What's most likely to happen? A Yelich 20-20, a Turang 25-25, or a Cheerio 30-30?
I think the question in this is Yelich going to stay healthy?
Yeah. I think playing DH is going to help him continue to, All right, what say the rest of you? Well, we'll throw it out to the voters, to the peeps out there. What's most likely? A Yelich 20-20. When we say this, it's 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases. So Turang, 25 home runs, 25 stolen bases. Cheerio, 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases. Nobody's doing the Ohtani and doing the 50-50 on this team. That's not happening. So which one do you think is most likely to happen? If you had to pick one, all right, you get some poker chips and you're able to put them in the middle of the table and bet some futures on it. Which one are you going to roll with? All right. I think I'm still going Turang 25-25.
Yeah, probably.
That's the one. I like the Yelich. I'd probably go Yelich second. Cheerio doing the 30-30. It's just, I don't know yet.
He'd have to take that next step.
Yeah.
Like, he'd become almost a superstar if he did 30-30.
Yeah. I think he could do the 25-25. I almost feel like he's a 24-27.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sort of thing. Like, Yeah, he'd hit one of them, but not going to hit the other one.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And the other part in this, too, is like, where's Turang? I don't know if this factors too much in it, but is Turang batting in that 3 spot? And, I don't know.
Better chance Bryce Turang goes 25-25 or Garrett Mitchell plays at least 30 games.
Oh. You know what? I'll give Garrett Mitchell the benefit of the doubt, and he plays 30 games. I want 120 games, 125 games out of him. Heck, I want 130 games out of Garrett Mitchell this year. I think the minimum's got to be at least 100, right? If we put the line, it's got to be at least 100.
That's even low.
I know.
So,
but he hasn't done that yet.
Yeah.
So he is just is he the biggest unknown on this team so far? Just because of the injuries?
Yeah. Never know what he's going to do in a year.
How many games has... So, 28, 19, 69, 25. Yeah, we got to set the line at 100 then, don't we?
Yeah. He hit 8 home runs in 69 games in 24.
255, 811 OPS. I mean, that's nothing to shy away from. Gosh. That would, I think he is the biggest wild card, just because if he's not in there, then that means Blake Perkins, and I've got nothing wrong with Blake Perkins, but Blake Perkins is a better bench outfielder. He should not be an everyday starting center fielder. Yeah. Man. More so than maybe some of the pitchers for wild card?
Yeah. The pitchers, I just feel like our pitching staff will get the best out of.
Mm-hmm. Going back to the Post-Glass and Mirror 715 Speaks poll question that we posted up last night, we asked Brewers fans who you thought which pitcher would finish the season with the most wins. It was 41% so far saying Quinn Priester, 33% going Brandon Woodruff, 10% going Mizorowski, 9% going Chad Patrick, 7% said one of the new guys. Who would you vote for?
Quinn Priester. If not Quinn, I think it's Kyle Harrison or Sprout.
One of the new guys?
Yeah.
I'd probably go Priester. I want to say Woodruff, and I want to say Miz. Those are the two I really want to say. But
let's just say I have more confidence in the 3 I said staying healthy than Miz and Woodruff. Just because Miz throws so fast and Woodruff's old.
Yeah.
For baseball years.
Talent-wise, you would think it should be Miz. Mm-hmm. But then the other part is like what you said, but also how long is he going to stay in games?
Yeah, because he has to go 5.
Woodruff, especially if they do the 6-man rotation too. Priester racked up a bunch of weight. And I wonder if Priester benefits a little bit too if they employ more of the DL Hall's going to start, pitch the inning or two, and then Priester comes in and pitches the 5 innings after that. Like, he kind of benefits from that with racking up wins, especially say he gets the ball, you're 2 innings in, it's still 0-0, and then the offense gives you some run support after that. I think I'd probably go Quinn Priester.
Yeah.
With a lot of that. I don't think we get a 15-game winner, though.
I don't think so. But I think you could get multiple double-digit winners.
Yep, I would agree with that. And, again, I think a lot of that because they're going to employ a lot of different starters, I think, because they have that flexibility. I mean, look at the rotation right there. That's not bullpen. That's rotation.
Yeah.
It's Woodruff, Priester, Mizorowski, Patrick, Harrison, Robert Gasser, Henderson, Rodriguez, Sproat, Crow, Druin. And that's not, that's a lot of arms to try to figure out.
Well, that's not even counting openers.
Like Ashby or
Hall.
DL Hall. You're right. Man. That is definitely one thing I am excited for this Brewer season, is to see the creativity and the flexibility that they're going to do with this pitching staff. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. I mean, they talked about Zerpa being a potential starter too, and he's listed in the bullpen on here. So
I'm interested to see their bullpen too.
Yeah. I would be surprised if McGill gets traded, just because they might get something in return for him. But at the same time, don't trade him just to trade him.
Yeah. Wouldn't you think he'd be already traded already?
Maybe.
I don't know.
But if there's an injury to, say, a closer.
That's true.
Then they go to the Brewers and be like, hey, and then they're like, yeah, we got extra closers.
We got an extra lot. Yeah.
So that's one thing I'm definitely kind of excited and a little bit unknown, but cautiously excited to see how this thing works out. Because we don't see this a whole lot in baseball, where you could potentially go 6-day rest and 6 different pitchers if they wanted to. All right, we got to take a quick break. Plenty more to get to. We'll talk some hoops coming up next. Bucks with a nice win last night. They're playing some good basketball. Giannis is close to returning. How is that all going to gel? Any concern with that? We'll hit that up coming up after this quick break. First time all season long that the Bucks have gone winning 8 games out of 10 games, or 8-2 in their last 10 games, and they did it all without the Greek Freak Giannis. So that obviously means this team is way better without Giannis, right? I mean, that's what it tells us. No, it doesn't. But there's going to be people that will think that. So I know that's probably going to be a question that's going to be why all of a sudden the Bucks maybe starting to play a little bit better here. I mean, let's go back to the trade deadline, right? That's when they've really started to play a lot better. You're looking at that Pacers when Pelicans right around there. What was the trade deadline? I believe it was this. I'm looking it up here quick. It was the 5th, yeah. 5th. So the 6th, they beat the Pacers. They lose to the Magic, but then they beat the Magic. They beat the Thunder. They beat the Pelicans. They lose to the Raptors. They beat the Heat, and they beat the Cavs. Is it as simple as that? I know it's not the biggest sample size, but you also saw last night 8 different players in double-figure scoring too. Is it something as simple as they didn't have to answer all the Giannis questions anymore for this season? Because they're not getting asked that anymore. You don't have to, and the coach isn't being asked that. It's not a cloud. And you don't have Giannis saying we're playing selfish basketball or saying all this other stuff either. Was it just a weight taken off the shoulders of this team, of this kind of younger team, and maybe they're playing a little bit more relaxed and not pressing as much?
I can tell you the ball movement's much better, and their offense just seems to have more flow, which is weird because Giannis is one of the best players in the NBA, and when he's not in there, they definitely lose something offensively. But it's like they are playing unselfish at this point. They're passing up open looks to get others open looks, and they're just hitting their shots finally. I don't know if it was just a case of them missing early on, or what. But now they're hitting their shots.
Now the question is going to be when Giannis does come back. He was asked. Doc Rivers was asked yesterday in typical Doc Rivers fashion. I don't know. I really appreciated the answer where he said maybe I should ask them so I could tell you guys. Okay, I hate it when coaches do that stuff. It's like, okay, we're not idiots, we're not dumb, and they're not doing the journalists are not doing their job without asking that question, because everybody wants to know when is Giannis going to come back, right? I mean, so I that to me is just kind of ridiculous for Doc to say that. So, assuming it's going to be fairly soon, I think the big question now is going to be, how does Giannis fit? It's weird to say, but I think it's legit. How does Giannis fit into this to where they can maybe take it up another level? Because I think it's fair also to say they're playing great. You don't want to mess it up. But when you add a guy like Giannis into it, you want more than just playing how they're playing out. You want to take it up another step, right? I think that's fair to say. You add Giannis, the play should be even better going forward.
I was reading an article from Yahoo, and they said best trade deadline acquisition, Giannis, because you're hot right now from the trade deadline, and now he's inserted back into your lineup. You still got to knock down your open shots, but again, they have to all gel together, and it'll be interesting to watch because Giannis is kind of just go at him. He's not really a passer. He can be, but he's not really. And Cam Thomas is not really a passer. Bobby Portis is not really a passer. So it's going to be interesting to watch.
Is it fair, and I know we are getting way ahead of ourselves, but is it fair, like when Giannis does come back, and let's say they make the play-in, and Giannis is healthy, everybody's healthy, Kevin Porter Jr. is still playing great, Ryan Rollins is playing great, all that's still happening. Are the Bucks a dangerous play-in team?
I mean, play-in team.
Yeah. Let's say they get through the play-in and they got to play, the 1 or 2 seed.
I don't think anybody wants to face them. I don't think anybody's looking at on paper and goes, I want to face the Bucks. But at the same time, looking at the standings.
Because let's say you're the Pistons. You're going to play the worst between the 7 and the 10.
I'd rather play the Magic and Heat. than the Bucks, just because they don't have Giannis.
Or Hawks or Hornets.
Or Hawks, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if we look at those, the Magic, Heat, Hawks, Hornets, Bucks, if you had to pick one that you feel like, okay, that would present the biggest challenge to either the Pistons or Celtics or Knicks or whoever it's going to be, I think the Magic are playing under expectations this year. They made that big move in the offseason. They're really going for it this year. And I think it's, yes, they're 5 games above 500, but they're playing under the expectations that they had this year. But they got a lot of cumulative talent with the Magic, but you got the Greek Freak with Giannis. Heat don't have that. Hawks don't have that. Hornets, Khan's playing incredibly well for a rookie, but he ain't Giannis yet. I think that's the deciding. I think they are a dangerous team. They could be. But the other wild card in this thing, too, is how much do you trust Doc Rivers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how much do you trust Doc Rivers to not screw it up?
Yep.
Especially with Giannis coming in. I hate saying that, but okay. Because that's the balance. Guys are going to have minutes cut. Guys are going to have scoring opportunities cut when Giannis comes in. That's just a fact. It's going to happen. But how do you balance all that?
What do you think happens if Giannis comes back and they start losing again?
Oh, then you're really going to get to talk about, okay, are they better without him? Does the team not like Giannis? Do his teammates hate him? I can tell you the headlines from ESPN already. Bucks teammates obviously don't like Giannis because when he's on the court, they play worse or they don't follow his leadership. He's an awful leader and all that stuff.
And he requested a trade.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. That's all going to happen. That is going to. But if they start losing when Giannis is out there, then it's like, okay, why?
Yeah.
You have to ask the question, why? Because you are inserting one of the best players in the game on a team that is playing their best basketball all season long. Let's say all of a sudden, let's just say for argument's sake, Giannis plays Friday against the Knicks. And let's say after that, and I know it's tougher competition and such, but say they lose their next 5. Then you'd seriously have to ask the question, why? Why all of a sudden did they start playing bad and everything else is the same when Giannis was inserted in the lineup? You could say, well, maybe the teammates he has doesn't necessarily fit the style that Giannis wants to play. Maybe Giannis doesn't fit the style that Doc Rivers and the rest of the team want, play. There could be a bunch of different reasons under, but that's not the hot take headlines that people want to run with. And, you'll have the whole he's an awful teammate or selfish player sort of thing. And, I don't know. I'm curious to see how it plays out, though.
Do you think any of this winning is maybe influencing Giannis at all? Like maybe I want to
That's a main question, right? I think a lot of it is going to depend on when he comes back, how he fits in that thing. If he comes back and they continue to win, I think it can influence him. If he comes back and they continue to lose, that is going to influence him too. A lot. I don't know how it's going to work when he's back. I hope it works. As a Bucks fan, I want it to work, and I want it to work even better. I want it to work. I would love to see. And we're running out of time for the amount of games to see this happen. But I want to see Giannis, Turner, Porter Jr., and Ryan Rollins on the court together for extended amount. Not just a couple of games here and there, but for an extended amount. Is that a foursome that can work? Is that a foursome that you could go into next year and say, we can win with this? We haven't seen that hardly at all this year, and I think it's still an unknown. And we're running out of games. We're running out of games to maybe get a good idea of that. And most of it is because Giannis has been injured. Kevin Porter Jr. was injured a big chunk of the season, too, at the beginning. So, yeah, we haven't really seen this team all together yet. But I hope it's influencing him to want to stay. But that's the thing, too. Like, you get to the offseason and Giannis doesn't commit to signing a contract, then I think the Bucks have to have that discussion. Do you try to move on from him?
Yeah, because you don't want to lose him for nothing.
Yeah. That would probably be the worst thing, right? Baseball, I feel like you can get away with it a little bit because, you get prospects mostly in return and such. Basketball, I mean, that's a little bit different. And like even the NFL, you could put a franchise tag on somebody or a transition tag and try to get compensation that way. But I don't know. Kind of interesting. So Bucks back at it tomorrow, taking on the Knicks in Milwaukee. And then Sunday, a quick trip to the South to take on the Bulls. They better win that game. And then they're back Monday with another tough one against the Celtics. How many wins in that 3-game stretch? Knicks, Bulls, Celtics.
I want to say 2.
I want to say 2. If you could get 2, I think you're feeling good.
And then even the Hawks, if you get 3rd.
If you get 3 out of 4, you're feeling really good, I think.
Yeah.
And then that confidence is flowing. All right, we got to take our final break, and then we'll make some picks, and we'll start to wrap up things on this Thursday morning. We'll be right back after these few words. Before we get to our picks to wrap up things this morning, I got to ask intern Carter here, hockey-wise, did you do anything on Sunday special? Did you get up early out of bed and watch that that game and such? Did you hoot and holler down the streets and all that fun stuff?
I had church, so I missed the ending, but I was able to go back and watch it. But I was up at 7. Yep, watching it. That was a fun game.
You know what? I'd seen some clips, and a friend of ours, one of Hudson's friends, he's in hockey, and his dad was telling me they were in a tournament in Appleton, and they were done playing and such, and they went out to the car and such, and they're sitting in the car getting ready to go. No, he said all of a sudden everybody started blowing their horns. That's when Team USA won. And another friend of ours, C-Bomb, was he coaches youth hockey too, and he said like the game paused and the kids all went and watched the end of it. And I'd seen video clips too where there was another youth hockey game. The ref is ready to drop the puck, and then all of a sudden the crowd starts hooting and hollering, and the kids are like looking up like what? And then somebody said, "Did we win?" And they all started celebrating too. So that's really cool to see. So many like kids, but people like just get on that call it a bandwagon if you want, but get on that and cheer for that. To hear those and see some of that, it was pretty cool. It was really cool.
It's cool. It was just such a fun game, and it's cool to see just like a lot of people cheering for the same team.
Yeah.
Just because you have a lot of different states with their respective NBA, NFL teams, but this time everybody was kind of cheering for the same thing.
Right, because I mean we were just talking Packers Bears, right? And like, why are we friends with people who are Bears fans or Vikings fans, and that's one thing I mentioned earlier in the week that I got to kind of help remind myself going forward too, is like when it gets to the Olympics, Packers Bears fans are coming together, right, for Team USA and such. So it was just kind of cool to kind of see that, because we're like, for once we're all fans of the same team. It feels like the majority of us are, at least. So
did you see any of the Canada responses?
Yeah. Do you like the 3-on-3?
In the NHL, yes. I like 3-on-3 hockey. Canada's got the better threesome, so they could have just won 3-on-3. I don't care, honestly.
The thing is, if Canada wins, are they saying anything about it?
No. Nathan McKinnon hit your open shot. Like, it's just, that's my enough is enough. It's Thursday. Stop it, Canada. You lost. I don't care that you think you're the better team. You lost. Hit your shot. Nathan McKinnon had a wide open net that I think I could have scored, and he just missed. And it just didn't go their way. Yeah. So.
I mean, man, the goalie, though, that is one of the best images in sports. The stick save.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Right? I mean, you want to talk about inches, inches away. Man, just such a cool image. I hope he has like that, like framed, printed, and just hanging up in his house or something, because that is going to be an iconic shot, I think.
Yeah.
Going down in history. So, all right, let's do some picks. Now let's go to the NBA world. We do have a couple of college basketball games I want to get to, including that Michigan State and Purdue game. Let's go with the Hornets and the Pacers. If you're a Bucks fan, you're hoping for the Pacers to win tonight.
Yeah, the Hornets are going to win, though.
Yeah, I'm going to go Hornets too. Miami and Philly. Again, if you're a Bucks fan, you probably want Philly to win.
I think they do, Philly.
I'll go Philly too. How about Washington, Atlanta? You got to go for Washington if you're a Bucks fan.
Hawks.
Hawks. We're not picking to help the Bucks right now, man. San Antonio, Brooklyn.
Spurs.
I'm going to go with Spurs. Houston taking on Orlando.
Rockets.
I'm going to go Rockets. Trailblazers and the Bulls.
Blazers.
I'll go Blazers. Kings and Mavericks.
Mavs.
I'll go Dallas. Lakers and the Suns.
Lakers.
Yep. Pelicans and Utah.
Pelicans.
I'll go New Orleans. And then finally, the T-Wolves taking on the Clippers.
I'll go Timberwolves.
Yeah, I'm going to go Timberwolves too. So let's do a couple of college basketball games. Is there any other ones I want to pick before that? Michigan State and Purdue one? Not really. Let's just do the one. Let's do Michigan State at Purdue. Purdue is favored by 7.5 in this game.
Wow. Well, if I was taking the money line, I'd take the Spartans, but I think Purdue will win.
I'm going to go with Purdue, too. If this was at Michigan State, I might go Michigan State. So, but I'm going to go with Purdue. Outside of the Badger game from last night, an absolutely dominant game by UConn over St. John's. Did you see that score?
Yeah, 72-40.
Yeah. I mean.
Defense.
Yeah.
Wow.
St. John's is a 15th ranked team. It's Rick Pitino's team. And, wow. Just I think, what did they say? They scored 14 in the second half. That's it.
Goodness.
That is insane. So I think what they said, that was like the worst Rick Pitino loss or some. You want to talk about bad three-point shooting? 5 of 20. 5 of 20. Well, heck, even UConn was only 7 of 25.
Yeah.
So, yeesh. That's bad. Field goal percentage for St. John's, 19.6. Less than 20% from the field for St. John's last night. I feel like Rick Pitino might be a little bit upset at the next practice.
Yeah, that would not be pleasant to attend.
Yeah, that, get ready to run a lot, guys. You're going to be sore the next morning. Holy moly. So, all right, that's about it for picks here this morning. So, what do we got here? Let's catch up on a couple of texts here. When we asked the Cheerio, Yelly, Turang thing, it's a majority. People are picking Turang going 25 and 25. So if you missed it, you're like, what were you guys talking about? We said what's most likely to happen, a Yelich 20 for 20 season, a Turang 25 for 25, or a Cheerio 30 for 30. That's 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases. Yeah, majority went with Turang in that one. So I think you and I both agreed on the Turang one. So a few of you texted in saying Priester gets most wins for a Brewers starting pitcher, which apparently we're all in agreement on that, or majority is in agreement on that as well. So Badger-wise, I did see, was it Benjamin Wargol that covers the Badgers? Said that they moved down a couple spots in the net rankings, but as he said too, it wouldn't be a surprise if they should move down even further based off that performance from last night. So
they'll get a chance to redeem themselves, but
I'm at a loss for this Badger team. I want to love them so much.
Yeah,
I want to love them so much, but then they go ahead and do something like that last night. There's another one where practice, you better be running a lot or staying extra and putting up some extra shots or such. So, but they'll try again this weekend when they take on Washington before returning home to face Maryland for the last game at the Kohl Center for this year. So, what else did we hit up this morning? We talked some Green Gold, we talked some Packers. We did a little fun with quarterback match game. So we played a little match game with the quarterback questions surrounding this off season. Which quarterbacks are going to go where, who's going to play where. It's not the greatest options, which makes it intriguing. And then you add in like a Colts situation, a Viking situation, and potentially a Chiefs situation where, Chiefs and Colts may not have their starter available to begin. So how much of an emphasis do they go into the offseason trying to find a quarterback? How much do the Vikings want to invest in bringing in a veteran? Are they worried that, okay, we don't want to, mess up too much with JJ and such? It's that balance. Not everything goes as well as it did for like Bryce Young when the Panthers benched him and Andy Dalton played in that. But it's definitely going to be an intriguing offseason when it comes to quarterbacks, for sure.
It'll be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And factor in that the draft, you got the number 1 overall pick. But after that, you look at a lot of mock drafts, there's someone that don't have another quarterback going. Maybe Ty Simpson towards the back end. I think you kind of picked that for the Cardinals one. So maybe that's an option. Maybe he's a second round. But, it's going to be a lot of, I think, teams' jobs may be on the line with these quarterback decisions. Like the Jets. Yeah. I think the Jets have a big decision to make. What do you do? You're not getting probably your franchise quarterback in the draft. Is there a guy out there that's available? I don't know. Right?
Jets are in a bad place.
They're in a really bad place. And then Browns are in a bad, is it Shador? You're paying Deshaun Watson. I don't know what to do.
As long as they get Deshaun Watson off their books, they're fine.
When can they get him off the books here? That's got to be, let me try to bring it up here. And the thing is like, is he going to be any good anymore? I don't know. They can, 2027 is still a $50 million dead cap hit. This year is a $131 million dead cap.
Yikes.
Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for us. Have a fantastic Thursday, everybody. We'll wrap up the week tomorrow. Same place, same time. Talk to you then.